Markets holding on to positive territory here as we get going ahead of key inflation reading coming out here in about 30 seconds or so. We'll get October CPI, 10 seconds to go. We're expecting a 0.1% uptick on the month-over-month number, 4.1 on the core for the October year-over-year number. Core inflation month-over-month seen as 0.3 to the upside. So we'll see how things play out. 3.2 downside there for the year-over-year October inflation rate. Again, 3.2%. Core inflation year-over-year, 4%. Again, downside across the board here, it would appear. Core inflation month-over-month, 0.2% versus a 0.3% uptick expected. So right across the board, we're seeing things moving in the right direction. Yeah, market liking that overall. What a move for the futures there. Back to the upside we go, 1.3% on that. Again, right across the board, 3.2% on the year-over-year inflation versus a 3.3 print expected there. Core 4 in line essentially for the core inflation rate year-over-year. Core inflation month-over-month, though, downside as well, 0.2% versus just a 0.3% increase expected. Nice look for the overall market to get going here on a Tuesday morning. It's Tuesday, November 14th, 2023. Tradertv.live starts now. And just like that, 1.5% here for the Qs of the NASDAQ as we get this October inflation data coming in better than expected right across the board. The next step maybe in the all clear being declared here. We'll see what happens today, but nice look. No stopping right now. I mean, the bids are winning, to say the least here a little bit. Yeah, we're almost at 15.8 here on the NQ. Great look, especially after the hawkish comments that came last week with Jerome Powell. So nice for the market to move up, and we could have a nice green day on our hands. Let's see. If you missed it or just joining a little late here we go. I'll run through it again. 3.2% here for the inflation rate for October. That's versus 3.3 expected. So downside, core inflation 4% in line. But we were expecting a 0.1% uptick and got 0. So that's a good look. Core inflation on the month-over-month, 0.2 versus 0.3 expected. So basically across the board, the right direction, to say the least. Neil took the day off today. I wonder if he's regretting that right now. But Obi is with us. Good morning, guys.
Good morning. Neil ain't regretting it. Nice, huge monster move up. I have the NASDAQ right here on the daily. I mean, now we're going to go back into July highs and look at possibly 16,000 again. I mean, what a great number that was. Huge move to the upside right here. Could we fade out? Maybe we do. But if you're going to look at like a just a little bit of a different chart here, a 30-minute chart, I mean, the NASDAQ is already gone. It's through all these levels. I sent out an email, put it on Twitter that we had the all clear last Fed meeting. That's it. It's off to the races. I was talking about this on the show. A couple weeks ago, I mentioned to our algo, I said, just turn off all the shorts. And then there it is right now. It's a nice move to the upside. It's going to continue the rest of the day. Look at a name like Tesla, which is on the sticky note here today, 232, just ripping. Right, that's still the TQs. Tesla just going off right now. 228, up $3. Huge move there for Tesla. Apple up to 187 and moving around. Amazon to 145. Has Microsoft taken out 370 already? Wow. Has Microsoft taken out 370? Okay, 372 right now. Up goes the boogie here in the market. I mean, this is an absolute monster move. Microsoft actually touched 373. These winners are just going to keep on floating in now because the problem is, if you're on the sidelines right now with cash, too bad. You've missed this huge move up, and now you're going to get FOMO, as often traders do. So, I don't know. Obi, welcome to the big show once again.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
It's always a pleasure to have you. Big shoes to fill with Neil,
Always,
of course.
always.
Yeah, I know you were off yesterday. Was it just a relaxing day? Were you feeling okay? What was going on?
I was feeling a little off over the weekend, so I was like, just to recover properly, I took yesterday off.
All right.
But yeah, very, very interesting price action yesterday. We know that we had a couple strong weeks, and going into this week, we have now we have a strong CPI coming in on Tuesday. I am a little bit short here on the TQs, just looking for a reversion of the move. We saw how wild that was. I was watching my actual versus as expected, and yeah, definitely that year over year is about 0.4, a little bit less than expected there. So yeah, the market really likes that. Got a little short for the reversion, as yeah, this is a wild move for the TQs themselves. I'm watching the rest of these names as well, but it's going to be an interesting day there, Sean.
Yeah, they and by the way, everybody yesterday who has joined me for the market recap show, we gave our Monday night pick. Cortland Sutton anytime touchdown cashes at plus 240. So that was a huge win right there for any of the gamblers out there. Make sure you join me, not only for hopefully some good trade ideas, but also for some nice picks and parlays and whatnot in the sports betting world. All right, Amazon 145, man. Everything is starting to go here, it seems like. So congratulations if you got long, and let's see what happens with that short.
Pretty impressive. Here is the 10-year right now. So that just happened. That's a 15-minute chart. We just went 4.65 down to 4.45 on that CPI print. So yields coming off in a hurry here. I saw the dollar downtick there pretty hard as well. So we'll keep an eye on some of these inflationary readings going into the open here this morning. But you and I were just discussing the fact that yesterday we talked about the CME Fed funds tool. If you go out to March, it was around 2%. It was 1.82% in favor of a cut going all the way out to March of 2024. That just went up to 10% on that print. It's coming back a little bit right now, but I mean, we're probably obviously not going to get anything until the latter half of next year, but the market adjusting here in real time.
I can't tell you how many times I've heard higher for longer in the past 3 months, so we'll have to wait and see. The market's been right so far. We haven't gotten a rate increase. Looking back into the summer, the Fed rate tool was really not pricing one in the remaining meetings, so we'll have to wait and see. I'm looking here at what's moving. Brendo, Tesla is an absolute rocket, about 4% here, looking to take 233. Sean and I talking off camera today, he made a bold prediction, 280 by the end of the year.
Yeah, I mean, across the board, just nothing but green streaming in front of me right now. Yeah, I mean, Palantir as well, just popping up. AMD, NVIDIA, XPeng has its own news story today that we'll touch on here. But there it is again, if anyone's just joining a little bit late here, 0.2 versus 0.3 on the month-over-month October print. CPI for the year-over-year October print 3.2 versus a 3.3 reading expected there. So, I mean, there's so many different ways we can go here. I mean, you want to touch on Fisker? I mean, there are a few to the downside here this morning. Fisker, obviously, earnings after the close yesterday. Very, very bad, and it all comes down to the production numbers and manufacturing going forward.
Yeah, and they're not the only ones making it. Like you and I were talking off camera, Magna, a Canadian company here, Magna International, actually manufactures some of Fisker's Oceans at its facilities, made about 4,000 some odd of them, only delivered about 1,000 of them, so the demand isn't there. Elon Musk talked about this on the call and on the Joe Rogan podcast. The demand for EVs is really lessening, especially with higher rates. But let's talk about how they did. Net loss of $91 million last year, though they shored up expenses. They lost about $150 million last year. Revenue coming in at $71.8 million. The street was looking for about 110, so big miss there. And like I said, it was a story of deliveries. They actually have them in number. But one more thing I should mention, though, the CEO coming on the call yesterday and saying that they delivered about 1,000 of these in October. So for whatever reason, the demand has just picked up. There was also an unceremonious exit for one of their accounting officials, chief financial officer, not really explaining why they left, and actually basically they were supposed to report last week and they didn't because of this departure.
We'll have to get Randy's take on this maybe later in the day today, but I know he's still holding on to his his reservation for one of those oceans. There it is, 16.8%. I mean, given what has just taken place in the overall market, going to be tough to look at the negative side of things, I think, today. But that's a huge move here, guys, for Fisker.
So I have Fisker written down here as a long, and I'll explain to you why. Okay, so I was still watching the market. The market's not really doing too much of anything right now. I don't want to say I prefer the long because my guy over here is short, but let's just wait to see.
I could be wrong.
Yeah, you could be wrong.
Easily
Not
be
often,
just as
not
wrong.
often. You could be wrong though. Okay, so So I'm writing the sticky note, but the problem is the sticky note was written a half hour plus ago or more than that. So now, you know, you're into a problem where these levels have started to get going, right? And so this is the thing for Fisker, right? I mean, let me just show you something here. 45% short. Down right now 17%, was down 18%, was down 19%. All right, so for me, the shorts have won, so that's fine. So the shorts have won, and the only way to win, if you're short Obi, is to what?
Cover?
Cover.
Yes.
So, okay, so you're down 14, 15, 16, 17, 18% on that report. The Fisker CEO, Gita Fisker, thinks that cutting these costs and everything like that allows them to stay in the game a little bit longer. Obviously, they're going to try to spin, you know, this report as much as they possibly can. At the end of the day, it's bad. They only delivered, what was it, 13,000 cars? Or I'm just going to look this number up here. We had it there. Yeah, aiming for 13 to 17,000 in this new year. Previously projected 20 to 23. Bad. They need to have better inventory management. And obviously, if that comes through, we've heard about the year of efficiency, so on and so forth. We heard Nike had inventory problems. They got that under control. Boom goes the dynamite. I think this is a little bit of a sandbag quarter. Obviously, they're not delivering as many cars as they need to be. For revenue, 71 million versus 91. It's bad. And as Sharif said over there, even Elon Musk, even Tesla seeing lesser demand in this space. It's not a good spot for them, but you're down 44%. I'm looking for the blast up higher. Even right now, you bounced off 330. I said, let's wait for three. I'm going to sneeze. Let's wait for $3 to come into play. Hopefully there is a move down. We could start the, we could start the bidding around 330. We could start the bidding around 330 on this name. I put on the sticky note $3 to see if that lasts. But for right now, I like the Fisker long, man. I mean, look, if this gets back up to 4, like if we're back to like a positive state today, then maybe we decide to do something with it on the short side of things. But for right now, honestly, as crazy as this sounds, I like the 44% short. I think the shorts win here. We've hit these kind of plays before, but just come over to my screen quickly because I just found something else out. Uh-oh, here it comes. All right.
Bless you.
All right, I think I got the cover there on the mute. Getting better at that, Fabian. All right, so what I want to talk about, we've talked about this before on the trading tips and secrets and all that kind of stuff. Well, guess what? It ain't no secret. It's public information. Look at all of this size here on the offer and look at none of the size on the bid. Nobody's willing to stand in front of this. So here are the shorts, looking to get short 49s, 50s, 48s, you know, into this 50. Well, what happens when this 50 breaks? You know, and then are these traders looking to go short? Or what? Or are they traders that were long below all-time lows? How is that possible? So I'm thinking that right now, these traders are looking to get short, and when that blows up in their face, then they're also going to have to cover. So I like the Fisker long. Please at me later on when it's at 250, because then the shorts would have once again won. So yeah, I think you want to be patient, Obi, with these plays. I don't think it's anything to get involved with right now. We want to see the real money come in, and that'll come in at 9:30, and then we'll be able to see what happens. I have Fisker up as a very active name. It's on the watch list, and geez, man, what goes up must come down. Not in Tesla's case. Tesla right now, 233. And still going up. We've actually broken through 233 today. I mean, this was my number. I mean, I'm still doing. The problem is like I got to work on this still because that number was blasting. But I had Tesla as the number one idea. So now we're going to have to find a better dip by area, and it might be VWAP here at 230. This market is rocking, man. I mean, I don't. Brendan, did you say the Fed fund rate changed the tool there on the expectations? March changed. Okay, yeah, because I just looked it up. It's still 85%. It looks very, very similar, but I didn't go as far as March. So, yeah, man, this is going to be wild. I feel like the Fed now is a Fed pause. I don't know if it's going to be a pivot, but like Brendan said there, we're looking forward to the new year.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Yeah, I like that. I like that look on Fisker you had. I think a good point you made. You got to wait for the big money to kind of come in, and I've spoken on this before as well. Kind of waiting for that day two,
yep.
Right? I like waiting for that day two, so I'll definitely be watching some of these day ones. But something on watch for me today is TSN as a day two play. So.
Okay,
We'll
TSN, so Tyson Foods?
Yes, sir. Tyson Food is
What did you like? We can still have a bit of time. Do you want to talk about it now or in a couple minutes?
We can talk about it in a couple minutes.
Okay, we'll go about it. But Tyson Foods on OB's radar there, Brendo.
For sure.
All right. Let's touch on a few things here. Here's the 30-year. I wanted to point this out simply because of the initial move on that number at 830 was actually higher. And then we get absolutely slammed. So 4.78 at the top. We're down to 4.65 right now for the 30-year. 10-year still going. Downside as well. So this all good for stocks. Let's talk about this one. There's Rivian up 4% on top of what happened yesterday. If you missed it, it was after the close. I think they came out and talked about this $15 billion debt raise they're going to do to construct this new facility in Georgia, which is, I mean, we've sat here for months and months talking about the fact that they need to figure out manufacturing, they need to figure out production. So it looks like here's the first step in doing so.
Yeah, this plan is integral to their future and their long-term plans. It's an interesting setup. The state's involved, several counties in the area are all involved buying up debt there, and that's going to generate tax revenue for those locales because Rivian has a promise to pay $300 million in taxes by 2047. So that's going to generate some good money. Guys, this is a monster of a plant. This is going to have the capacity to make about 400,000 vehicles a year. They're going to start building it in the early part of 2024, Brendo. So, you know, obviously, you know, more debt here, but part of the overall plan.
And if you go back to the early days of Tesla's ramp up, you know, it's a similar type of story. He would spend and spend and spend and spend on this manufacturing and the infrastructure behind it, and then finally started to see the fruits paid from that. But 4% as well here for Rivian today.
Yeah, I mean, these names are just going to keep on going, man. I mean, $15 billion in debt to raise this finance construction of an electrical vehicle plant in Georgia. I mean, like you guys just mentioned, I think that's the whole key, right? Once you get demand, you need to deliver the cars. I mean, it is what it is, right? You need to fill those orders. Yep. We've seen that here with Tesla, and that was a great point. I mean, that's what really got them ramped up, was sort of how they innovated on their plants and how they're able to, you know, just pump out as many cars as possible and meet that demand. And I feel the same kind of ways. Like, if you're looking for an EV, you don't want to wait in line. You don't want to sit there and try to say, okay, now I got to wait 3 months, 5 months, 6 months. Meanwhile, your money's just rotting there. I like this move up. It's a great story there. It's going to be great for the state of Georgia, I believe. Anyways, they've committed to purchasing bonds, $300 million in property tax payments, like we just mentioned right there. So again, it's a big investment in the company, and I think that we should like that. It's just a matter of, do you like the name right now? I mean, the market's up 1.5%. EVs have been weak. And if you're going to trade a rocking market like this, I still think I want to be looking at AMD today and Apple's and the Amazons of the world and other names. But Rivian is kind of a little bit of an undercover play right here. There's no doubt about that. And I actually have UVXY right there. We could talk about that. I'm going to start looking at the VIX a little bit more, especially with, you know, these recent moves here. The NASDAQ's up 1.6% right now. Okay, this is what I wanted to do on a longer time frame. Here's $17 on Rivian. So I feel like it's not tradable right now because you're up to $17 on great news. So that means it should break 17. But then when it breaks 17, then you're at 17.20. You're at 17.30. Like it's a good break for sure. And you would take 40 cents. You punch that with 1,000 shares, you get that $400, $300, whatever you want to take on that. I think that's possible. But then I do also feel like being up 4%, it breaks through 17. That's up 6-7%, and then you're gonna just be like, okay, is this still going? And then you could fade back a little bit because there is definitely some resistance and some supply up here. And it's only a couple days worth of data. So let's not take this really too much for what it's worth here. It's a beautiful move back up to the upside. This is the buy zone down here, 1650. So if you do get a drop down in, I mean, look, I would prefer a dip buy. You know, the market's kind of holding out okay. I know, like I keep saying, I know OB's short right now, but the market's just kind of doing nothing. So it's doing great things, but nothing in the last 10 or 15 minutes. I could see a drop back in. So with Tesla still moving up here, I like to buy Rivian at these levels, 1650. You see a 1650 top back there. I think this is a fantastic level. It's too bad that we weren't down here breaking this higher. So I like it. We'll see Rivian today. It's a strong name for me. And one that's on the radar, but not on the sticky note. That doesn't mean that we won't be trading it. I'm going to put a little bit of a dip buy order right now. Well, I mean, this Tesla is back through 233 again. I'm going to put a buy right now for Rivian down here at 1650. That's how much I like it. So if the market does fade, let's buy this good news there on Rivian. Any thoughts there on
the Tesla? Yeah.
Or on anything, Tesla, Rivian, whatever you want.
Yeah, no, the EV's definitely moving. Again, this the CPI bringing this Tesla right back up into something interesting to note. Right back up into the earnings reaction right there. We saw that earnings. We sold off quite heavily off the earnings, and we're pushing right back up into that range right here, that 235, 236 area, and kind of the high being right underneath that 250. So off of earnings, we rejected 250, kind of held on to 236 very weakly, and then just bled all the way down below 200. But if you take a note on this larger time frame, a little bit of a head and shoulders potentially forming here, with that head kind of happening underneath that 200, and then you sustain with the shoulders above, and you've done more than a 50% retracement off of that earnings quadrunk that we had earlier this month, actually. Yeah, earlier this month we were only trading at 250. We got all the way down, but a nice recovery here. How much further will it go? Who knows, but today will definitely be interesting as we broke a couple of these multi-week highs going into these levels.
All right, a couple things right now. We were just saying, like, I mean, not barely a downtick here in everything across the board. I wanted to mention this real quick. Joby Aviation, 7%, just taking out the highs here as well. A smaller one, few people were talking about this. This eVTOL company to the upside this morning. They had, I guess, a successful test flight around New York City. Not sure I would be in that if I had the opportunity, but I know you would be all over that with given the choice.
In a heartbeat, Bindo. Look, this stock is not a joke. It's up 63% year to date. You know, so it's a good look there. It slumped about 32% in 2022, so it's coming off not such a good year. They plan to start services by about 2025. We'll have to wait and see. It was the New York proof of concept. Go where the most eyes are.
Yeah, good for them. I mean, you made a good point though, in the sense that these are giant drones. And therefore, the more of the propellers that you put on them, the noise is intense across the board here. But I mean, Joby just following the market at this point. Tesla following the market right now at session highs as well. Everywhere I'm looking, there's green at this point, guys.
Except for our shirts.
Yes.
Well, come on, man. You gotta.
I sent you the memo this morning.
I know, but you don't send me memos. I send you memos. So that's the.
Damn. All right.
Damn. No, yeah, we screwed up. We both. Wow. Yeah, this Tesla, man, 234 is still absolutely. I mean, we are just rip city right now. Shout out to everybody there in Portland. I mean, this is just wow. Huge moves up, continuing, man. Sorry, Obi, I mentioned that I did like the long there on the TQs.
I'm looking to get out, man.
As we are starting to blast higher right now, and boom, 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 upside right here. I don't even remember what story you're talking about. What, Joby? You know what? I mean, look, so I would go. It doesn't matter. Like I don't feel like I feel like people are like, oh well, you know, if you don't have kids, you know, of course you'd go in it. But I would go in this thing. And the thing is, what bothers me about it is what Brendan just said there. I feel like if you're going to pay top dollar or something to be into one of these things and ride it around New York or wherever you're going to take it, you know, Neil might take it from Brampton in here every day. But the thing is like, if it's that loud and not a luxury type of thing, then I mean, I'm not too interested in that to begin with, anyways. But I like the idea. I think there has to be some new ideas here. And honestly, I mean, if they have the technology, you know, you get whatever sort of licenses are required for these things. If it's a bona fide drone, I mean, full self-drive is here. People are using that. I mean, I just feel like the logic behind some of the technology now is probably really super solid. I wouldn't be too worried about safety or anything like that, but at the same time, I mean, they have to be running these tests and making sure that it gets approval. And if that happens, then I mean, I would be fine with it. I don't know. There's people do crazier things, in my opinion, than go into certified vehicles. So I like Joby here. Could they be possibly a buyout play? I mean, if they have the technology, they might have the manufacturing. And again, I don't know the full story on this, but I think it's an interesting thing to do. It only has 300,000 shares traded today. So obviously, as I sit here and watch this market, there's no way in I'll be trading this most likely, but it has an 18% short float. So again, good news, nice move up. There's a little ARCA following this thing down. It's Joby Aviation, and it's not on my radar.
Yeah, no, Sharif and I were talking about this. Like, he was like, would you hop into one of these? And yeah, definitely. Obi is definitely yes for the Joby.
Yeah, Obi yes for the Joby.
I would say so. Just an oversized drone, right? So we've seen the success of drones. They're working pretty well, and yeah, it's just an oversized drone. But like I'd just be a little wary about one of those fins like snapping off. That's like probably the scariest part of it. But no, definitely some solid technology.
I mean, the thing is, like, we go up in these airplanes that weigh 1 trillion tons, whatever they are. And
I mean, they're relatively safe, statistically speaking. They're much safer than other modes of transportation.
Good move back here in the NASDAQ a little bit. Did you average into that or what? It's a nice little push.
A little bit there. I like the ad there as we kind of pulled back in. But again, I am fighting the trend and I'm fighting the sentiment as well. I do realize this. But all I'm looking for is a little bit of a reversion potential coming in before we open there.
All right.
All right, we were just talking about Amazon here. Let's get some upgrades and downgrades for you. Dara has that over at the screen.
A few food brands here with upgrades from Bernstein's. First, we have Kraft Heinz with an upgrade, and then also Smuckers, both from Bernstein's, both names to watch today. Also upgrades, we have Take-Two Interactive. That one has an upgrade from Deutsche Bank. And onsemi with an upgrade from Roth MKM. In terms of downgrades, we have Ansys with a downgrade from BofA Securities, Corteva with a Barclays downgrade, Freyr with a downgrade from Morgan Stanley, and New York Community Bancorp trading a lot lower after a Wedbush downgrade this morning, guys.
Nice.
Any comment on any of those?
I'm not really watching too many of those names, but like, again, a lot of in-play stuff with this market move that we're having right now, right? Like large caps are going to be my main focus today. I think a lot of these levels, if you marked a lot of levels either this morning or last night, a lot of them have been straight up blown through. So yeah, a little bit of reassessment before the open for sure there.
Yeah, I don't mean to throw too much shade on any of those names, but Take-Two Interactive, that could be something. We've talked about the strength of the gaming sector since ATVI and Microsoft completed their deal. So we're always looking for some merger and acquisitions possibilities. But honestly, guys, like I'm not like I don't feel sick to my stomach or anything like that. Hey, Ramin, how's it going? It's more about like Tesla's now is 236, 367. No, that's the Microsoft level. This Tesla is just continuing to go upside, right? And then I was just going to also look at Microsoft as we continue to go in what is going to be an absolutely monstrous day in this market. I mean, I don't have anything else to say other than we broke through 15.8 right now. The market is really starting to blast up. All the names are saying, get on our back and let's just carry you to the promised land. I mean, what is the high here for Amazon on a daily chart here? I mean, like your weight, you've taken it out, 146. The high of Amazon, 52-week high is 145.86. So that's mooned right now. I mean, like, okay, shorts, like I mean, if you join me on that market recap show, man, we had like Murderers Row, man. Michael Noss, Brian Shannon, Chris Bretcher, other people I can't think of come through, and we were all talking about the put-call ratio, you know, and saying how offside the NASDAQ, there was more puts out there than calls over the last month or so. As soon as we got through earnings, and then Fed Powell was like, see you later, market, there's nothing stopping any of these things. I mean, Sharif, Apple 188, baby. Let's go. Get those flat whites over here. The Starbucks needs to be printing. You know, it's a nice move to the upside here. Look at Apple. Yeah, Apple had a bad report. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You know, 11 of 10 days upside for Apple. Yeah, really, real bad report. You know, Amazon, your Amazon, we just talked about this. Yep. That was down to 120. I felt like
we hit the teens even.
Yeah, like, 118 I believe was the low there or something like that. I was feeling bad, dude, buying this name at 124. I don't feel so bad no more on this one. And Obi, I keep telling you over and over again, if I had your youth, my friend, there'd be lots of things I'd be doing, but the first thing I'd be doing is buying up all of these tech stocks every single day, man. Dollar cost average into these names. They just keep on working. The Magnificent Seven are called that for a reason, and today they can continue to blast off. So that's me basically ignoring that upgrade and downgrade board and giving everybody a little bit of something else. So did you want to, I still want to hear your Tyson Foods, so I want you to get to that at some point. Yeah, okay, we've talked about that. Let's go back over to the desk now. It's 9 o'clock. We've got a big watch list to go over.
Yeah, a ton to understand this morning. Let's jump right into it. Sharif's going to kick it off with a look at the overall market.
44.25 is where we closed off yesterday on the yes. We're way above that now, guys. 44.90 and a quarter high. We're obviously looking at that 100-point level at 4,500. If we get above and stay above 4,500, let's see how we trade. We're looking at that peak there that we made back in mid-September at around 45.60, Brendo. Let's see how we do.
All right, a lot to understand here this morning. Let's get right into it. If you haven't done so, make sure you go to watchlist.tradertv.live, or you can scan that QR code. It'll take you right there. Enter your email address, and then you get that every morning right to your inbox. Has everything you need to know in the pre-market every day for free. Let's talk Tesla. It might be one of those situations where we have to be a little bit patient at this point because, wow, what a move. Yeah, 5.2% right now for Tesla to the upside. Topping out a little bit at 5.5 anyways. I mean, there's a couple of things to note here. Some China price hikes. They're going to import more components from India for manufacturing. So talking about trying to reduce some of their costs and fix that margin that went down to 7% in the last quarter. Tesla doing all the right things here, or trying to, it would appear. But I mean, this move in the market is the big story, I think.
Yeah, India has very protectionist policies with respect to its industries. So in order to be able to sell there and sell there at a profit, you have to remove some of those protectionist policies, and that's how he's doing it. He's basically endearing himself to them by buying up their goods. He's also going to build a factory there. We know that's just a matter of time. But Tesla, Brendo, I think it's reacting the most here of the Mag 7 because it's so interest rate sensitive. We saw Elon Musk talk about this ad nauseum on the call. Interest rates are hurting demand on EVs, and the fact that we got a cleaner print today to the downside takes some of that pressure off.
Yeah, pretty impressive here. 3 days straight to the upside for Tesla now, guys.
Tesla, never heard of them.
Yeah, who's that?
Look at these guys over here.
Yeah,
I was actually looking at a Tesla. We were talking about it last night at dinner and stuff when, we had a great, I'm going to show the picture here. We had a great time last night, thanks to Brendan, Sharif, and everybody, some guy named Neil as well, that we went to like an absolutely, here's me being an idiot at the end here when it's at the game. This is us. Yeah, oh, hey, what's going on? Because the Raptors won. You can't see. I tried to show the screen there. Oh, right there. Anyways, we got a win, but that's not what I'm trying to show. This is what, whoopsies. Oh, damn it. I clicked on some rando there. Okay, so here we go. This is what it's all about right here. So we had a great time. Come over, check it out. We all had, there's Brendan. I mean, you know, Brendan was the last one to the party, and we're just like, we should just order him a Guinness because that's exactly what it was. And then he came and it was like, what would you have? And he had a Guinness. So there it is right there. We had a great time. So shout out to the Raptors and everybody that's part of Raptor Nation. We had an absolutely fantastic time, and it was a great game as well. So what were we talking about again? Oh yeah, Tesla. So that's the thing. So by the way, I just went short as well right now in the market. So I just want to, hit the siren alert because it's a new position. The thing is that that high right there, 42.65, let's just see if it breaks. I actually wanted to get out if it takes, I was going to average it into 55 there. I didn't even really want to hold it to the top. I do have a stop on the break of 60s. So if it just breaks through 60, I'm going to get out, even though that high is 70. I'm going to get out if it breaks through 60. I'm kind of looking, I don't even really want to look at that up and down. I'm kind of just looking at this 56 area right about there. So if we can, hold that, great. We do start a short position. Look, I wrote down on the sticky note there about Tesla. Pretty simple trade for me today. And that was, look what happened yesterday. So we put on the sticky note that we wanted this to happen, basically. Huge move up early, then faded back, people selling it, not believing in it, watching out for the futures, and then it absolutely took off. So we actually did really well on Tesla there to avoid this tank down, and then we started shorting against that high until eventually it broke. So it gave us a trade on the short, which we took. We took the short there off the 200, then we took the short here, literally right here, made it to the backside, but then we wound up negative because once it broke through, I was hoping for a bigger move back down, but the futures held yesterday. And today, we're not going to have that opportunity, I do not think. I wrote down basically 225, which was the baseline, kind of where we closed yesterday. That's where we wanted to look for Tesla long. But now you're already up, basically 227, up $9 to 236, and now starting to pull back in a little bit. So if this move can happen early for Tesla, I'm looking at a VWAP hold or something like that down here to 232, 231.50, something like that in there for Tesla. And then, what the bottom line was, yesterday on the sticky note, I wrote down here 213, 214. It dipped down into 212. So I would have lost if I would have respected some of those levels early because I probably wouldn't have held that $2 against me. Issue was not getting long off the bottom. So I have Tesla up here as a #1 stock for me to trade today on my screen. I'm going to be watching it early. If we see a baseline somewhere in this name, we have to get in there and buy it. They raised the prices in China a couple $100. They got good news from India. Those parts are starting to pump out of there. That's great. When you want to diversify your portfolio, you also want to diversify your suppliers and the areas where you're getting these supplies from. You've seen Rivian go up on that news with Georgia and their plant. Now let's see what Tesla can do here today. Hopefully a dip buy opportunity.
Yeah, I think I really like that the notion of how they. I remember when they a few months ago, I think it was they reduced the prices of the Teslas in China.
Yep.
And so you create a little bit of increased demand, and then you also kind of capture a little bit of a market share that way, and then you increase your prices gradually, and there you go. Money, money, money. But yeah, strong move off of the CPI once again. It's already done one ATR off of yesterday's close, done way more than one ATR, but actually I think Tesla's ATR is about 10.77, and off of the CPI we've already done about an ATR. So potential for pullback, definitely I'll be watching for that as I covered before, kind of pushing up into these earning reaction lows there. So can we catch a little bit of a relief back down before we can actually see if this bid is real? It kind of catches back on maybe around the 230s right here. I'm watching this 230.80 right here. You can see this consolidation before we kind of accelerate to the downside further. A wick top right here at that 230.68. So we've done a little bit of an ATR, maybe a little bit of a reversion before we continue. That's what I have on watch for Tesla today.
All right, just be aware, Fed's barking, trying to pour some cold water on this right now. A few comments coming through, very hawkish, to be honest, saying, I am not convinced inflation is on a smooth glide path to 2%. Also saying, I fear more needs to happen to curb demand and inflation. So this might be a theme for the next few days here. We get some pretty hawkish talk after this print, specifically from CPI. Let's go to Snapchat here. Yeah, Amazon going to buy some ads for sellers to directly sell products on Snapchat's platform, similar to the way they do with Meta across the board. So good luck. If you remember going back to, when was it, 2 weeks ago? They reported better than expected results for Snap. So back above $12 here today.
Yeah, we're seeing more of these tie-ups between Amazon and other social media apps. TikTok also taking this initiative. You're going to be able to shop directly from the TikTok app. But let's talk about what they're going to do here. It's essentially going to allow customers to shop directly from Amazon ads on Snapchat. It'll let them know exact real-time pricing, price eligibility, the delivery estimates, all within the app, so you don't actually have to leave. And this is going to obviously create some, you know, what do they call those people? The influencers who are going to obviously, you know,
the Seans of the world.
The Seans of the world, exactly.
Sean, you'll be able to buy things with a Buy Now button on Snapchat. That's exciting.
It's blasting.
What's up? You have Snapchat account? You probably do, Randy. I do not have a Snapchat account. You do, Randy? No? At Car Guru or something like that on Snapchat? No? Randy has asked, Obi, are you down for a coffee, or what was your answer there?
No, I got mine right here.
Oh, you got your coffee already? Oh, that's right. Last time you had too much coffee and you felt all jacked up.
Yeah, you could see it on my executions. It was very erratic.
Very jittery. Randy, what a crazy day, man. Fisker down 18% today. Oh, you got puts or something on that one? All right. Oh, wow. He says shh. No, we're not supposed to shh, because we try to tell everybody what we're trying to buy and sell here. It's Tesla that has continued to be the winner. But okay, so I mean, I like that Amazon idea there on Snapchat. Honestly, I have to defer, because I've never, honestly, never really been on Snapchat. I just aged out, I think, of that technology. But still on Instagram, Reels, all that kind of stuff. And I mean, I know what Amazon can do to some of these companies, right? And just the exposure. And it's not even what this is going to add to their bottom line. It's more just that more eyeballs on Snapchat right now. I'm long Snapchat, and we got long, I believe it was right in here, the $10. So there was a huge move down, and we bought it on this $10 support. And I remember looking back just before last earnings report and being like, what? It's at $8.50. I did not average into it. It was a very small starter position. So I'm actually debating maybe getting out of this. This is the highest it's been right now since those summer highs of $13.50. So does it get going here? I don't know. Snapchat already has a pretty successful move up here from those bottoms. This is a good move there for Snapchat. I did want to see what the short float was on this. I have it, I mean, I had it written down on here for a 12 break. You see the short float is only 7%. So I wrote it down as a name to watch out for on the sticky note with a $12 break, but we've already broken that. And look what happened. It got to $12.20. Now we know that was on CPI, so let's just see if we can hold this bid. I mean, ultimately, that's what needs to happen. I was going to get out on 1180 break lower, so let's wait to see if that now becomes support. Look, it's a good deal. You can't make a deal with Amazon that seems to be bad, so let's just see how this accrues to their next earnings report. Will people be hitting the buy now button? I don't know. I still feel like Amazon, and I'm probably, maybe I'm off on this, but I still feel that like the Snapchat demographic is a little bit younger, maybe significantly younger, than the people that are actually using Amazon.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm not sure how that will flow through, but that's my little take there. And I like the stock. I'm long Amazon in my own account, and if we get near that $13 mark, I believe it's a sell.
Yeah, I think I like that move. Again, we've done a little bit of a one ATR move off of this Amazon news here, and again. Smaller cap ticker being associated with one of the Mag 7. That's a trade within itself, in my opinion. And I think just taking a quick look left here, you can see the earnings reaction high right here at that $12 mark, roughly, let's see what that high specifically is, 1206 high right there, and we're holding in and around just those prices right now. So a potential breakout. We haven't kind of seen these levels since the earnings, even before that here in July. Kind of that earnings reaction rejected off of this 13.3. But yeah, that 13 level, Sean, definitely very, very heavy. I think we can look to expect sellers there, and whether they're there or not, we'll find out if and when price pulls up into that area. But definitely a potential for a breakout if the bid catches here on an association with a large cap tech name for Snapchat.
Yeah, Snapchat's going to be. Does Randy ever talk? Yeah, he talks. Oh, here he is. Hey, what's going on, Randy? My mic? No, he does. Well, he could talk if he wants to. But no, what I was going to get to right here was someone in the chat just mentioned there about NVIDIA. Right there, there it was. What's up to Vin right there? NVIDIA up to $500. I can't believe I even just wasn't even on my radar when we were just talking about that. I was talking about the leadership with Microsoft and Apple and Meta and Tesla. Speak of Randy there. Wow. Randy, I wanted to ask you something about, Sharif brought this up to me yesterday. The aftermarkets for Tesla. Is it okay to buy a used Tesla, or should you?
Absolutely.
Okay, absolutely. Okay, because I saw their warranties on like 2021s are going to like 2027, 2028, and then the battery is serviceable. No, it's not serviceable, right? It only has a certain amount of miles on it.
Well, they have a lifespan, but
Yeah, but you don't have to. You have to worry. Like if I'm just going to be driving 10,000 kilometers a year or something like that, that's not.
just get one of those stuffed Energizer bunnies.
Yeah. That's why I like the Fisker with the solar. But now Fisker may be getting a little bit cheaper there. They guided down so they were supposed to get between 20 to 21,000 vehicles. They guided 13 to 17,000. Yeah, so it's Fisker. Fisker is going to be a little bit of a problem there. But we still like NVIDIA, right, Randy? Randy's a big tech guy, obviously. So, what was that, Sharif? Okay, we'll talk to Sharif in a minute. But yeah, this NVIDIA up here to $5 man, just keeps on trucking. It's starting to break out. It's basically at all-time highs right now. Sans their earnings report that was right there, that bumped it to 515. But we did not close at 515 that day. That was after market move. So NVIDIA right now, its high I see right here on this chart is 502. Marked right there on August 23rd or 24th. 502, all-time intraday high for NVIDIA right there. So watch, maybe not intraday high, sorry, intraday closing high for NVIDIA, 502.66 right there. So that's another name, Obi, that continues to blast off. Yeah. I actually I was thinking about shorting the chip space, to be honest with you. And then this happened. I honestly thought that right here, AMD was getting a little exhausted up here at 118, 119. And that might still be the case. What a move for AMD. Like as if they'd said anything other than AI. They actually didn't have the greatest of quarters, but talked about their AI chips with huge demand. And I mean, we're going to see that demand come through on the next NVIDIA conference call, or earnings report, which is the 21st. But all right, let's throw it back to the desk because we still got a few names to talk about here, including, hey, anyone heard of EV coverage? Tesla, XPEB, Fisker, and Rivian all on the board.
Yeah, one of those days. Let's get on to XPeng here. Ramin is very upset about this, so we'll have to highlight this for Ramin. A multi-purpose vehicle, I just learned, MPV, XPeng's X9 coming through today, was up, what is it now, 5.8% for XPeng. The chart, if you look at it technically, actually looks pretty good.
Yeah, and it's up today, and then there's a lot of Chinese subsidies coming in for some of these EV companies. Look, I continue to think that this company is just a copy of Tesla. Let's have a look at the interior. I mean, I already have my reservations about the car. The exterior, I don't like it at all. But look at the interior.
Wait, that's not a Tesla?
You've got the 2 charging ports right there. You've got like the center screen. The only difference is they have this heads-up area over here, which Tesla refuses to put, right? And even the yoke, they kind of flattened it out. They didn't completely take the yoke, but they took that flattening there. I don't know. Not a big fan of this car, but let's see how they do.
It looks like a minivan from 2005. But
yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
No, the UI specifically, the software is identical to Tesla. Yeah. So anyway, XPeng, guys.
That is an ugly SUV. I'll be straight up.
It seems like you're not holding back.
No.
Is that what Ramin was mad about? Was this the way it looked? Yeah, okay. We were wondering about that. I was like, is she just mad? I don't know, like that was an MPV. I don't know what she was upset about there. XPEV. Okay, so, all right, great. I don't know. The market just continues to make these moves here, and then now you're getting a new vehicle from these guys. I mean, I believe that Are they EBITDA, like, do they making money here, these guys? XPEV No, not yet. Okay, yeah. So, all right. So again, another EV name that is losing a severe amount of money. So I should say that I don't even know. Revenues of $3 billion though, which is nice. Cash on hand of $4 billion for XPeng. Market cap of $12 billion. So they're probably undervalued. They have cash on hand of $4 billion with a market cap of 11 right now with revenues of 3. Actually, this name is not horrible as we go. Obviously, you're always going to have that sort of Chinese overhang right now. Look at the UVIXI right here, not doing a whole heck of a lot. As I'm just sitting in this TQ position, it's supposed to be triple levered against the NASDAQ, and it's not moving. So look at the NASDAQ right now, not doing a heck of a lot, waiting for those big buyers to come in, which I think they do off the open, to believe it or not. I still feel like this market has some more room to run. So if that's going to be the case, XPEP back to VWAP at 1640. That's about all I have to say. I probably will not be trading this name. Look, man, it has 278,000 shares done. I mean, Tesla's in the millions right now and still counting, right? 6.5 million for Tesla and giving love, right? Li Auto, NIO, Neil talked about it today, breaking through some shelf of 7 or something on the bottom side of that. That didn't happen. That's all the way to the upside as well. So I don't know, man. I would look at an 8 fade on NIO, and I'm not really into these Chinese EVs today, man. There's so much happening on our side here with AMD and just with many names that we always look at. For me, it's pretty much off the radar today. Any thoughts you might have on that?
Yeah, I think. Look, I can think whatever I want about their new vehicle, but the fact of the matter is that they've introduced like a relatively new product to their line, and they have a potential for catching a bid on that. So although I don't think that it's visually appealing, it could definitely be appealing to investors or the market just in general. Just so I think it's valid to look for a potential bid going off the open. We see that we are testing some of these levels from early on a few weeks ago. This 17, kind of a consolidation right here, 1650. This is very interesting, where you kind of sell off and you consolidate all day around these prices, and then when you get back up there, selling becomes heavy again. So I think this 1670-ish area here on XPEP is definitely interesting. I just want to
this is chart right here because Brandon brought it up earlier. It's the 30-year Treasury yield. This is the 30-minute chart. It's a huge move down right now, 4.8 down to 4.6. And the important thing about this is you're looking to break that level right there from the 8th of November, which is 4.63. So if you break that 4.63, that goes all the way back into September levels. And then, Brendan, there's 460. Hopefully we have Frank on later on today, and if not, that's still fine. But there's that 460 level that we've talked about a couple of times. If we can break back down below that one, we do have him at 245, so that's must-see TV right there for Frank Caberna's must-see TV. I like that. Down there, breaking through 460. So if you want to talk about rates and the possible effect that this is going to be having on the bond market and the money market, check us out at 245. But there it is. It's a nice move down. This is 15 minutes delayed, unfortunately. So even when I call up a 1-minute chart, you're just going to see a big candle there. So there it is. There's the move. And then look, it's just been dripping. So you're falling down here. Good for the market here, guys, as we start to see rates come back in a bit.
Well, I just saw the Fed funds futures are actually pricing in 50 basis points worth of cutting now by July of next year. We'll see if that plays out. But again, it's going to, Sharif, you and I were just talking about this. I mean, and to answer your question, Sean, I believe Frank is going to be on this afternoon. We'll ask him this question as well. But it's going to be about that restrictiveness. We've heard that word so many times. And if real rates continue to come down, they can't stay, where they are as long as they maintain that level of restrictiveness. So we'll look out for that word going forward here.
Yeah, absolutely. And we'll have to wait and see. Should I cover Fisker?
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, so essentially here, Fisker reported, and they didn't do that well. They delivered about 1,100 cars. They're not the only ones actually manufacturing their own cars. They actually outsourced some of that to Magna International. Magna built about 4,700 of these things for them. They only delivered about 1,000 of them, though. So it's not a good story with respect to earnings. It's another loss, $91 million. They're shoring up their losses, though, from about $150 million last year. And we'll see. They said sales picked up in October, but we'll have to wait and look. Not really a good report.
I wanted to grab one of these, so we can make Ramin's day now, because that's definitely much better than that Xpeng, whatever it was, guys.
That looks really nice.
Yeah,
actually.
that looks
Randy,
pretty
bring me
nice.
back your reservation there, bro. But that's not the ocean, right? Oh, that is the ocean. Okay, yeah, I like that.
All right. Yeah.
Wife might
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
I
man.
agree as
She's-
well.
I know, that's the solar roof is what I'm all about, for all the sun that we get here in Toronto all the time. Yeah, so anyways, at least it's not over the pond, right? It's not across the way there. And what some of our friends, Sharif's lived in London, well, not London, but Leicester there. How would solar be over there as a technology? Yeah, but anyways, okay. Yeah, so my whole call on Fisker is very, very simple. I'm already bidding $3. So I'm already bidding down there. I'm at 305, 303 actually. I don't know why that matters. We'll wait for that bid. It's 45% short. The shorts have just banked huge right now. Fisker, year of efficiencies, they can talk all they want. I'm not sure what this means exactly for Fisker. Are they going to be able to survive if they're only going to be able to produce 13,000 cars in this upcoming year? 13,000 to 17,000? Like, what's up with that? Honestly, that's pretty weak. So I don't know. Their car could look real nice, but again, if they're not dropping prices, they might have to even raise prices. It's dead, right? Fisker's a 52-week low. We've already crushed through that. It previously was 368, so you're well through that right now. That might be the fade spot. We just stopped out there. Oh, we just got stopped out on TQs, so there it goes. I knew this. I shouldn't say I knew it, or else I probably would have just gone long. But I feel like this market, we just got right now, we're going to get the market on open imbalances, which is probably what spiked us up in about 5 seconds. So let's just have a quick look at that real quick here on the NASDAQ. So right now we have Derek. Oh, it went the other way. Damn it. See, that's the problem there. Like, I just got stopped out on that, which is kind of crazy. But a stop out is a stop out, and we did get stopped out. So, oh, darn. Yeah, there it comes back in. Wow, we'd now be in the money, man. We were just short the TQs at 52. So maybe we'll try it one more time right now. But Palantir buy, RLX buy, Tilray with a sell. Okay, Apple, there it is. There's the big guy right there with a sell. So now we go back short into the TQs, and of course now we're 6 cents in the money. Stupid trade, Sean. We actually, not a stupid trade. It's fine. It's just there's Intel with a sell. There's Google with a sell. There's Snapchat with a bid. So there are going to be some opportunities here today. What did Tesla just do right now? I know we're getting in on time there. Fisker to me is a buy because of that short float. So let's call that what it is. Tesla with a nice little dip in to 234. So that might be the bottom there. Did Microsoft break back below 370 on that? Not even close. What did AMD do? I'm sitting upside on AMD. I actually want to try this short at 121 right now. So, okay, this market's about to open up to some great moves. Any ideas that maybe I didn't talk about on Fisker?
I think you covered some pretty solid points there.
Okay, so get ready. Obi's going to talk a little bit about Rivian when we get back, if you have any ideas on that one.
You're with us in the first hour. We touched on it. $15 billion in investments and new debt going to build a plant for Rivian, up 4.5 here. Speaking of highs, this one just about to take it out. I just saw some of the banks popping up, not anywhere near as much as some of these tech names, up 1 to 2%. Banks benefiting. Some of the pharma names that have been strong over the past couple of days, not so much today. Eli Lilly actually red right now.
Yeah, keep your eye on that. With respect to Rivian, guys, it's an interesting look here. They're going to build a really big plant, about 400,000 cars annually capacity here, Brendo. This is a company that's making moves. We know last week they announced with Amazon that they were no longer the exclusive provider for the vans, and that they're free to sell those vans elsewhere. So nice expansion here.
And the R2 platform to come in the new year, guys.
Yeah, we wanted to talk about.
Yeah, so strong move there. I think something interesting to note is we sold off heavily off earnings earlier last week. You can see how muted kind of we get down here. We get pretty flat before kind of picking right back up, and we basically reverted this whole down move about 50%. Not earnings day one, but earnings day one plus day two. You can see that we had quite a strong range there. And yeah, maybe if we can push some of these levels above this 17.3, we can potentially look for this 1870s to kind of come in. But we are kind of holding off of a failure to follow through that underneath this $15 level there on Rivian. So the 15 hold was nice, and we're bouncing off that 15 on the overall picture on Rivian, so I like that.
All right, yeah, same. I was interested in Rivian. I am bidding it right now near VWAP. We're going to be bidding this down here about 1650. I like the talk of more investment into more plants. We just talked about Fisker not being able to produce cars. If Rivian has a demand, which apparently they do, the reservations are piling up as well, the R1T, R1S, all this kind of stuff. I really think that Rivian's going to be a potential winner there because of the fact that they have Amazon as a base as well for their delivery vehicles. So I like that. I think there's going to be potential here for Rivian. So any kind of a dip buy opportunity into 1650 and then definitely loading up down at 16. Okay, not too much time left right now as we go. So there it is, man. That's an EV morning for you. And a CPI morning. They're coming out year over year 4% versus 4.1, so a little bit lower, rocketing the market back up to the upside. And now, as Brendan said, was it July, Brendan, 50% chance of a cut? Yeah, so July. So that's, I mean, look, time, you might think that's far away, but as far as market sentiment is concerned, like who knows where this market will be 8 months from now, but still, huge move up there today, watching out for some of these pullbacks. I'm interested in Microsoft pulling back and watching out for 371. 370. 371 is where we're at right now. Maybe 368 dip buy opportunity. We did reshort the TQs, which is a shame that we got stopped out of that because it was literally stopped out at the peak on that release, and then that was it. Now the countdown is on. We're going to look for some Tesla, maybe down here at 228. So we only have 10 seconds to go. It looks like Adara will be on the bell. So that's all groovy. Bitcoin moving around, but not a whole heck of a lot. As we went to Adara a bit early, it's not countdown yet, but there it is. Now we're ready to go. Now there's only 10 seconds left. So there she goes. It's bell time with only, no, 5, 4, 3. I like the excitement. 2 and 1. Let's go. We are now rocking, and you're now rocking with the best of us. It is Obi. It is I. It is Brendan. It is Adara, Sharif. We're all here, so welcome. The water appears to be temporarily warm, but let's just see what happens here for anybody long. There are some moves happening as we speak. We'll take a quick 5 cents there on TQs. Now we'll wait for a pullback in. There goes. We just got 45s. We'll wait for a pullback into the teens here on the triple Q. Basically on the triple Qs.
Yeah, so I'm still kind of holding on to this short here, watching Softy fall into its VWAP right there, but we are catching a little bit of a bid. Google kind of strong, pretty strong there on Google. So yeah, Rip City on a lot of these names. Amazon holding that 145, but still well within the chop of this morning session kind of pop here. Still well within this kind of range off the morning there. So let's see what this 42.5 does on the TQs. We did slam up quite heavily off of that $40 area there, kind of a multi-time frame support, and we're holding quite well above some of those prices there. I see that Amazon, that 145 long, working very, very well on Amazon. But I'm gonna stay a little bit patient here before I start dabbling in the Amazon and some of these other names. But yeah, gonna be waiting for that first initial reaction to kind of form, maybe the first 15 minutes even, if not the first 5. But a little bit of a disconnect there as we're kind of bidding down, or kind of falling down as Amazon bids up right there. That 15.8 kind of a key area, 15.850 as well, kind of on radar potentially. And here we go, kind of catching a little bit of a sell-off as Apple and Softy pull back to their lows. I see that NVIDIA has retraced already about 50% of its move off of CPI as well. Kind of, we talked about that 500 level kind of being key. And of course, the first knock on the 500, can you expect a little bit of interest at the level? I think so, and the fact that it does show up a couple of points above and below is valid on that move. But on NVIDIA, I'm kind of looking at yesterday's consolidation highs here. Let's take a look together. NVIDIA consolidation highs from yesterday right here. The highs being right at 491, and we came right into 492, 493. So potentially looking for that resistance turn support here, as we did do quite a strong move off of this CPI. CPI hasn't really given us a move like this in quite a while there, but a 200-point plus move on the NQs, very, very strong on that sentiment there.
Yeah, we are, I mean, fully agreeing with everything about this move here off CPI. I mean, it was a good one, and I still think there's more to come right now as we are really banking right now. This AMD trade is hot fire right now. We are short AMD 120.60 right now. It's an early one, Obi. You know what happens. Ooh, it just bounced off the dollar club, Obi. It does not want to come into the club. Hey, that's okay, AMD. You're well dressed. You'll have another chance to get in here one more time. So it's a nice short here on advanced micro devices, but it needs to go down. We just covered at 120 flat there. That made a move quicker than I thought. I was honestly not prepared for that lack of preparation getting out downside there. I was just like, why is my net what it is? And I thought it was the TQs that was making a move. And it is the TQs that are making a move right now. Let's go, guys. Wow, we are on one again here today, man. Nice move to the downside. AMD cracking now 40 cents. The TQs now 30 cents into the money. And we got to go. We got to find out what is popping right there now. Lots of names moving around, dude. I mean, I don't even know where to start anymore. Tesla, this could be the thing right now. We're net short everything, but Tesla making its move. We said Tesla would do this, and it is doing it. Tesla breaking back down through 232. As AMD going to the upside, the TQs coming to the downside. It is also Tesla making the move down. What's up, B?
A little one on an early halt here, guys. BioCardia, FDA approval for phase 3 clinical trial for a heart treatment medication. So BCDA just halting. I also just heard GameStop up 7% here. GME going.
Okay. GME going. Right. Okay. What's up with that right now? So we'll have to check out on some GME. For me, I'm watching Tesla still. We still got AMD on our mind as well. GameStop. I'm honestly, you know, this doesn't happen too often, but a little bit overwhelmed, honestly, with everything and what to look at right now. So we're still here. I just want to say, like, there's a lot of opportunity in this market right now, especially with that hot number. And I mean, I just look at something like these TQs. Like, we just got out there at 32, 33, and then now it's ripping back up to the upside. And then just like this on AMD. AMD just again right there, just touched 120.30, and now we're right back up to the upside. I feel like I will look at GME, guys, but honestly, this market is looking to take out the tops again right now. We are out of 40% of that TQ. We could wind up getting more on the short up here as we're trying to get in, watching out for that top breaking of 15,840, but we're right here right now. So there we go, man. Nice move up for AMD. Where were we going to get out on AMD? This was one that was 121. It was basically up here. Let's try to call it 122. We've already taken out of some there. Here's what the, oh, sorry, I want to look at UVX. Was that a call for Brendan, by the way? No, okay. UVXY, oh yeah, here you did the GameStop call. This is what we're looking at right now with UVXY here. So this is the VIX. I'm going to have to try to get it in a little bit better here as I just open up these E-signal charts. Not really moving despite the market kind of just hanging out on the high side. So let's wait to see if anything does happen here with the VIX. Meanwhile, I do have to get some more short AMD up here if I do want to protect what we're doing now on the short 121. I have to find some levels. So I was looking at this AMD daily chart here, and it was sort of that into here, what we just talked about. 120, what is that wick high right there? Yeah, 122. So I'm going to have to leave this alone a little bit. Let some of these names settle down. AMD was a big winner early. Now we're sitting on the L for this name.
Yeah, so we get that crazy pop there on Amazon. That 145, I kind of talked about that 145 bounce holding, and that does about 2 points right off the open. 147 coming into play, just about a quarter away from that. So I am patiently waiting, like I said, maybe looking for again, we missed the long, so we're looking for a potential short there. But if we do hold some of these previous levels, I do have to kind of toss that idea out the window and look for the long potentially. But again, strong CPI, strong market sentiment there, as a lot of these names kind of strong on the day. But I see that it's only really Amazon that's kind of pushing or pulling up the markets here, as it is relatively much stronger versus Apple, Softy, or Google as well. So yeah, take a look right here at the Amazon strength right here. So 145 consolidation hold pushes up into that 127. So right away I want to look quick look left here on the daily and see what levels might be coming into play here. We are breaking out of this 146.40, kind of a structure high right there at 146.50, 146.40-ish area. So maybe we can catch a potential bid there as we are breaking a little bit of a multi-month high. We have not seen some of these prices since July and August of 22 here on Amazon, just underneath that 150, right? Once we got below that 150, we fell quite heavily, and now we've slowly made our way back up into that 150 area on Amazon. So definitely interesting price action today. I will be looking for a potential move. And now, sure, I'm looking a little bit short here, but I could very well be wrong if the market continues to rage to the high side there. That 15.8 holding quite well as of right now.
I think we need to look for some longs. Let's go to Brendan quickly.
Speaking of Amazon, guys, C3 AI expanding their partnership with AWS. So nice look here today for AI, up 8 and change at day highs.
All right. I'm just looking at. I was just saying to Obi, and you might have heard me under my breath. I was like, I got to get short here somewhere. I got to watch out for the long. I mean, and watch out for the shorts, because like this AMD, I may have to, guys, sort of change kind of the target of what we're looking at here on this, guys. I don't think we should hold this all the way. I mean, this market could really get going. So I am going to take one last stab here. It's been fine. We're up on it. I don't really know what I'm talking about when I'm talking about like one last stab here. But okay, 121, and then so we're gonna get short right now. Look at this, 121.21, 20 cents up, man. And let's just get out of everything. I'm not going to sit here and watch this name just continue to bleed upside, basically, as it goes. I thought AMD would be a little bit swollen up here near 121, and it seems like it is. We just missed a monster short. Oh my God, we had a lot of shares up there at 121. I was waiting at 98. It got to 96. Oh Lord, wow. There it comes to make the move down. That sucks, man. We were, honestly, Obi, wow. That's tough. We'll put it back there and see if we can get some of these bids. But again, look at this move down. Like, I didn't even capture that move down. It just went into the 30s there, and I didn't have any bids out. So wild here. This is a great market. This is exactly what I like, to be honest with you.
Yeah, this is absolutely wild there. We did test that 147 and pulled back quite heavy off of it right away. I did miss the best entries there underneath that 147. But we did get short a little bit there on Amazon, as it already done a decent amount of its ATR off the open on this opening drive there. Again, 145. I like that level, and I think it's fair that we see a little bit of a strength kind of pushing into these breakouts. Kind of it's lining up with the breakout levels, but it does seem like a little bit stretched here. Let's see how far it can get. But that 147, a little bit of resistance here. I'm seeing that not Apple, Google as well, making a little bit of a strong wick on the 15-minute here, with about 4 minutes left to close on the first 15-minute candle, and Google is making quite a strong top wick there, and Amazon again kind of very strong out the open, but we are kind of selling off a little bit here. So let's see if this initiates a little bit of a pullback, as not only are we testing some resistances on Nvidia, that 500 level, but I'm looking at the ES here as well, just underneath that 4,500. I have some resistance as well, just underneath here. So we are kind of consolidating and having some trouble kind of pushing forward past some of these levels. So if we can catch a little bit of a sell, that's what I'm looking for here. Still short the TQs. Just started on the short here on Amazon. Let's see where this goes.
Let's go to Brendan.
Individual names looking like this right now. Here's Peloton as well. Not seeing anything on this, guys, but better part of 12%. Approaching $5 here for Peloton on huge volume as well.
Oh my gosh. All right, Peloton moving around. That just reminded me. A good call on Fisker, man. The problem is that it didn't. It just flushed early down to 317 and then ripped up from there. Holy shnikes. All right, we have the position on right now. Let's go AMD. We just got, oh man, my net is giving me, honestly, I may have to take a break. This is like, maybe I should hide the net. We were just down into the doldrums here on AMD, and then we just ripped right back up. We've shorted this name, and we just keep on covering right now on AMD. That's yours, Professor. Yeah, Professor's right here watching the markets with us, of course. All right, so you do have the TQs. We just covered some there at 55. We did reload it right here at 70. So our average price now is 60. So let's wait to see on that one for the TQQs making its move again. Let's just see where it wants to go, though. It's really just AMD that I'm sort of enthralled with. We did talk about Tesla earlier on some dip buy opportunities. Wow, we talked about that 232. That was... Again, man, I mean, how many mistakes every day trying to look at the same kind of stuff and then missing the obvious play there long off that Tesla move. But right now I am favored short, although I did say we got to get long. And why would I say that? I mean, look at the market. Right now you're breaking through these highs as AMD is holding on for dear life here. The reason why I'm not covering more and not talking about this a little bit more as a cover is that I mean, the way this name is moving, I'll put a bid here in the 70s, but the way this name is moving, if the market does turn around, AMD is going to tank. I mean, I don't know. Let me see what NVIDIA is doing. That probably broke through 5 bills. Or nah, see, they're pretty weak, actually, considering the market's at highs. NVIDIA is not, like, it's not even really that close to highs. You're breaking back down now below. Okay, now we got to get excited again. Now we're back into the 60s here for AMD. So let's go, man. We're trying to ring some registers down there. Look, damn it, Sean. We did get some down there in the set. We got 77 and 81. Like, that's it, man. It went into the 60s. I have some bids there. I have 60 and 66. Let's hopefully this thing can come back in to the downside, and we'll wait to see what's going on right now with AMD. But that's a good trade idea. Palantir's already broken through 20. Wow, look at this. We're shorting the wrong name, I guess, because Palantir hits 20 bucks. They're pretty clean off the open. 2010, that high of 2012. Now you're busting back down in for PLTR as well. As this market just keeps on going. AMD, again, 20 more cents, and we're out of this name.
Yeah, this is absolutely wild. This strength kind of, we're getting that continuation here. The ES chart looks like it's pretty much frozen there as it just continues to make higher highs above this 44.90 area as well. And yeah, the TQs definitely, Sean, we're shorting the wrong thing here as the TQs kind of, along with the NQ, right, continues to bid up, showing some strength there. We're holding a lot of these levels here. So yeah, I do want to piece off of this quite soon there. Underneath that 43-ish area. But take a look at Amazon. Amazon doing a nice little pullback as well. A little bit of oppositeness. We talked about that disconnect kind of happening there. Again, off of a key area, as the market bids up, Amazon comes right back in. So yeah, a little bit of a disconnect for real. And Google kind of pushing up as well. Yeah, that 43 on TQs, man. Let's take a quick look at these TQs and take a look at what I'm watching for some of these levels to come in and show themselves here. So if we take a quick look left right here on the TQs, right here, we can see that in and around these areas, the selling has been quite aggressive. And we did a strong recovery right back into these levels. But I'm looking for potential interest to kind of show up here. Maybe, yeah, a little bit anticipatory with the kind of entries I've had. Again, very strong on the CPI. So we could very well break this 43.40, but I'm looking for some of these sellers as they have stepped down multiple times over and over again in and around some of these levels. You can see how we accelerated off of the break of 43.42 back to the downside there as well. And yeah, Apple here, I'll show you guys Apple as well. I'm watching Apple very closely alongside these names. Again, that 188 level, if we look in the past, kind of sellers have shown up quite aggressively, sure, at the 190 to say, but again, very hard action off of CPI. We've already done pretty much an ATR on a lot of these names, multiples of ATR if you take into consideration yesterday's close. So a little bit of overextension indeed happening here on the markets, and we're looking like that was a good time to short the Amazon there, as we're about almost $1 in the money right there off of that 147 short. But yeah, we talked about why that the reasoning for that kind of a strong move to the upside, looking for a little bit of reversion, and as it is kind of pushing that relatively one ATR, about a 30 to 25% of the ATR. I'm looking to catch a cover here, but let's see if we can make it all the way back down to that 145, kind of a key area that we pretty much negated. We popped above this in the pre-market after hours. So I kind of talk about the best prices don't stick around, or you don't even get a chance to interact with some of the best prices. I think 145 is a great price, and the fact that we've kind of we didn't even come to it in the opening session for very long, just straight blasting off of that 145 is definitely key. So I'll be watching for any levels past this to kind of hold that 146, looking like it may be holding as of right now. But like I said, I'm going to give it some more time there. Let this position kind of work in my favor. Let it do the chop around, and maybe we can get that nice relief back to the downside here as the futures kind of that 15.8 I think is also an interesting level, and we've seen what the market likes to do with some of these interesting levels. If I'm expecting it to be messy, I'm expecting it to come right back in and give us a few tests before we make a decisive move today.
All right, quickly back over to Brendo.
July highs coming into play right now. Just be aware, Fed's Barkin still making some comments here saying we're not in a recession right now from Fed's Barkin, guys.
We never are. Okay, so here we go, man. Unfortunately, our AMD did get stopped out up there at that 120 to 120, which was exactly the high. And then as soon as we saw that kind of weakness come back in, we just shorted it again and just was like, okay, well, we just picked the wrong price, unfortunately. And that's exactly what happened. So there's the short back in. We're now net positive again on AMD as we try to hold on to this short. I don't feel, like I say, man, like I don't feel good about it because we did get stopped out of that position initially. And now I'm into a new one right now, and I've again feeling a little silly because like we're into Microsoft short right now, and I mean the 4,500 just hit on the ES. So that's going to be a little dangerous, but we are just bouncing around here. Okay, here comes Microsoft back in, so I need to obviously address this because your boy has some shares on Microsoft right now. As this one, yes, sir, let's go. See ya. Oh, right. This is turning out to be quite the momentous morning right now. 85 cents. You've got Amazon, so shout out to Obi right there. We're dropping some cash down. We've got Microsoft 70 cents. We've got Amazon 90 cents, AMD. Amazon. Did you hear what I just said?
Yeah, it's a nice fusion.
Amazon and AMD. It's like you like that fusion cooking right there. So get your Amazon while it's hot right now. But there it is, man. It's a nice move down in for AMD. Let's cover some more here at 45 and then ring the Reggie a little bit. We just talked about this as being a big play for everybody on Softy. And there it is right now. It is a big play. It's a nice move down in. We're now 70 cents in the money on Softy. $1. There it is. Are you $1 in on Amazon? Who cares? Here we go. Let's go.
Yeah,
that's good enough for me. Right there as we go back-to-back Dollar Club members, man. Good to have you on the show, my guy, Obi.
I'm happy to be here. Thank you, Sean. Yeah, crazy kind of pullback there. Like we said, looking kind of weak off of that strength, looking for that reversion to come back in. But yeah, that 45, definitely a potential area for a little bit of a pullback, and we are getting that across the board here. Very, very distinct kind of a pullback that just happened right there. So again, like I said, I'm just looking for that retest of that 15.8 there. But yeah, let me. I'm just looking up at the chat. Let us know what you guys are trading on today. Very strong market move, so a lot of market names potentially in play as well. I do want to take a quick look at the VIX here, as the VIX has been quite an interesting instrument to be observing and using as an indicator as of late. And yeah, a little bit of a fade, strong fade off of those 20s we were talking about a few weeks ago. Very strong reversion back into some of these levels. We were down here in the 12s and 13s, and we've come right back in. So that was just another one of those volatility cycles, potentially kind of just expanding into the 20s and then coming right back down into the 13, 14 15s here. But yeah, these are the levels where we got that volatility to push back up. So maybe these are the areas where we may be looking for volatility to kind of settle down and kind of quell off a little bit here. This 146 holding quite peculiarly, and the market still, the TQs are holding their highs relatively strong as well. Yeah, so let's see what you guys wrote in the chat there. Renata saying SoFi long. Okay, we can take a quick look at the SoFi here. What's SoFi up to? So yeah, SoFi long, very strong on the day there. Nice. So let me take a quick look at this 15-minute here. I don't know if this had news or anything there.
SoFi?
Yeah. Did
Well, the
SoFi
banks,
have news?
all of right now, there's JP Morgan's blasting, a lot of the banks right now blasting. I just want to give a shout out to the professor here. He got long. He's long Apple right now, 186.70. So that's a great little long there. That's kind of like, I always say that's kind of like a Sean trade. I really like that trade, dude. That's a good one there off of those bottoms. This is what I was looking for. And honestly, Sharif, I wasn't able to pull the trigger because I was like, I'm short AMD, and that was that. And I didn't want to go long. And sometimes that's something that we can continue to talk about. But join Sharif and Adair on the midday show where they will talk more about some of the mental challenges and learning how to trade and becoming exactly the trader that you want to become. And don't let anything stop you, right? Make sure that you do watch that midday show. It's all about learning. It's all about, understanding the markets, because the worst mistake that any trader could do is to jump into these things thinking that they know everything, because there's one thing you don't know, and that's everything about the market, because it is wild. All right, we just got some more short right there on Microsoft. Remember, like this might, there we go, okay. I was gonna say, like, watch out, because we're at the highest level we've been at all day. Give me that short right there as we'll fire off some more. Look at that on Softy. Does it get any better than that? You want to talk about some education? That's the 50-period moving average right there. To the T, baby. We just shorted Patrick. 371, Patrick. 371.30 short on Microsoft. We just put that on 1 minute ago. So that's a good one. And then AMD 121.15. We are also short right now. Man, this has been a great day. Sorry to Neil, my friend, and the Buffalo Bills. But that team is honestly, I mean, I can say this because I'm a Maple Leaf fan and everything like that. It reminds me a lot. Like, Buffalo Bills were the preseason Super Bowl favorite to come out of the AFC. Vegas, what? That's just what odds were. So you guys tell me how happy you would be if you were said fan. But my guy over here as a Dallas fan, that's a little overproduction right over there. But I got to say shout out to that. I just feel bitter about trading Dak Prescott. Yay sports, Obi.
Go sports, yes, for sure. Yeah, no, I don't have much to speak on that because I have absolutely no idea what you're talking about. So yeah, no, I don't really follow sports that much, but I do like watching every now and then if there is a big game kind of going on there. But yeah, the biggest game going on in front of us right now, as these markets kind of showing us that they are holding a lot of these levels there, and the SPY kind of pushing up as well. I'm watching that 448 level on the SPY, only about 30 pennies away from that potential resistance area there. And that 146 keeps knocking on the door there, so maybe potential to size more into this Amazon short if and when it kind of shows me reason to. There, I'm looking for a potential pullback in towards these 145 and change here to kind of look for a little bit of a bid to kind of catch right back in there. TQs, man, I'm still fighting this thing. I gotta time out of this one eventually here, as if it continues to hold and if it continues to hold these highs, we've seen what happened last week and even yesterday. You get this strong move in the morning, and then all day you just consolidate in like a very tight range. Maybe not as tight on certain names, but definitely consolidative type of price action. I was watching a lot of these names yesterday. I know you guys know I wasn't in, but I saw that Apple consolidating near its lows and everything else kind of consolidating near its highs after the morning move. So we didn't really get too far off of the morning move, and maybe we're poised for potentially more of the same. But that CPI pressure could definitely carry us to the promised land, to the upside, to the moon there, Sean, if this continues to go.
All right, then let's just do this then. Okay. I don't know, man. We're still here, so we're ready to rock and roll at all times. I am bidding right now 370 flat. So let's see if that can come in for something here on Microsoft. Okay, so Rivian again. I don't think this is a missed opportunity by any stretch of the imagination, but still an opportunity nonetheless. We were bidding Rivian 1655. I have no idea why we didn't get, well, it went down to 57. You're going to hear me say that, but I mean, the order's here. We put that order out at 1655 at what time? 8:50. So at 8:50, we put out a bid down here at 1655. It went down to 1657. You know, we missed it. Fine. It's now at 1708. So a huge missed opportunity as far as I'm concerned here. Obviously with Rivian, we did have that bid. We did miss it. Sucks. I'm still there. I'm just going to, I was going to cancel it, but I don't know what that really means anymore at this point anyways. We did get a nice pullback here for Microsoft, and we did take advantage of it, but now it's right back to that same level. And honestly, at this point, guys, I'm going to pass on trying to average back into this short. We've already taken the money out of this name. If this breaks down back up through 371.50, we're going to stay away. I mean, Obi and I are still sitting here trying to battle what's exactly happening with the NASDAQ right now, and you're right back up to highs, and all I have on is shorts. We're going to be up today. It's all good. But the TQs, man, we went short a couple times and lost. So we got a nice move back in, shorted early, got that pullback right away off the open. But look at the UVXY here, starting to make more moves here. I don't know why this is so... I'll have to figure out what the time is going on with this. This is not a very zoomed in chart there. But that was a loss on that one. Let's see if we do get a little bit of a pullback right now, and then we'll get from there and see where we do go. So right now it is a nice little move, obviously, in this market. So let's just see if we can't continue to hold these highs. And if we do, what about Palantir back to 20 bucks? So watch out for this possible break. I actually like this break of 20. You may want to wait for 20.05, but Palantir, a pretty strong name here. Let's go to the desk right now with an update.
Hey guys, yeah, 10 o'clock, the market absolutely loving this inflation data this morning across the board. If you're just joining a little bit late, to the downside. Finally, we're starting to see things moving in the right direction on the year-over-year number for October. If you missed it, 3.2%, 3.3 was expected. 0 on the rates or month-over-month inflation rate for October. That was expected to be 0.1% to the upside. So again, downside direction coming into play. October year-over-year core 4% versus 4.1. Core month-over-month 0.2 versus 0.3. So top to bottom, beating expectations for, again, October CPI. Yeah, now a 2+% kind of a day for the NASDAQ here, continuing to just grind its way to the upside. I was mentioning this if you were with us in the pre-market. Some areas of the market, however, showing a little bit of relative weakness. These names have been really strong over the past few days and weeks here. Eli Lilly still negative on the day, not really doing anything, not a lot of attention on these as we're back focused on tech in the NASDAQ across the board. First 30 minutes of the market open, as always, brought to you by Surge Trader, where traders can get a funded trading account up to $1 million. Keep 90% of the profits. Program has simple rules, no time limits. SurgeTrader.com/TTV for 10% off.
Yeah, Sean, I got out of that short for sure. There, I don't want to be fighting this pressure here as NQ kind of continues to push towards these highs. There, I did get out of the position. I was like, yeah, this is a little too much there. I'm letting it go a little further than I'm really comfortable with, and it continues to push right back up. And now we're testing that 43 area. And again, like I said before, I'm looking for that for interest to show up in and around above this 43, so maybe a little too aggressive getting short into the 43 on that idea there. And Amazon kind of very, very strong, almost pretty much back up to where we got it here, Sean. So yeah, I kind of remembering what Neil likes to say, can't be looking a gift horse in the mouth, as I didn't cover any of that piece there. But again, like I said, if we make lower highs here, I will be potentially looking to add into the short here off of this move. But if the market continues to be this strong here, we have picked up on a lot of these moving averages here on Apple, on Microsoft, on Google, as well as Amazon, and a little bit on Nvidia as well. There's my stop out right into that 127 on the Amazon. So we get stopped out on that one, and that's fine. We gotta kind of lay off a little bit and then start to look for places to potentially get long here, Sean, because this market pressure doesn't look like it's stopping anytime soon. And if we're going to continue to bid up all day on a little bit of a strong CPI, which we haven't seen a reaction like this to in a very long time, yeah, definitely want to be respecting the pressure on a move like this. So potentially going to be looking for longs going forward. But if we kind of fail to follow through some of these highs on Amazon, I will be more than willing to get back into the short here. Again, got to see some confluence with the market as well. And if the market is not giving us any confluence for the pullback and continues to go up, raging to the high side, we definitely have to stay a little bit nimble on the short side there. Sure, scalps will work, but the fact that staying nimble is, I think more important there, as the market pressure is quite strong.
All right, yeah, we did get stopped out of our Softy trade as well, as you guys can see right there. So not a great little day there for Softy. We're still positive on it, but it did make the move higher. So we are trying to watch out for this move higher there now in the markets. Like I said, I was really trying to look maybe at this down here. Like, it's too bad that we didn't sort of, again, we kind of do this sometimes, but listen to what we were talking about, because we did have the bias to go long at 370 on Microsoft. And if we had done that, then we just would have been buying these dips instead of covering those dips. So that's just a little thing there that, sometimes you got to, try to not get too carried away with maybe what's happening in the market, and make sure that you always trade your book and trade what you're doing. And but that's okay. We made that decision, and that's something that we're going to have to live with now. But the market is blasting. I don't know. Are you still long over there, Sharif? Because Apple right now, again, I feel like we do want to trade something back into VWAP right now. The NASDAQ, we've already sort of put this out. There's nothing till 16,000. I mean, you have to go back all the way here. If I just go to the daily chart, if and when this loads, there it is right there. So we still have 16,000 to come through, and then that high is 16,030. Like, we could hit that today. Yeah. A pullback into 15.7, though, would not surprise me, which would be 200 handles down. So that's, I mean, I guess that would surprise me at this point, but I feel like that level needs to be tested again before we take out the highs of 16,000. So I'm not biased really one way or the other right now. I do want to look long, though, in this current market. I just don't know for how long. It's kind of just grinding up. Like, we're positive today by shorting things, which is kind of strange. The only position that we're in right now is AMD, and that's giving me the feels again of a potential another short. We just got out at 120.10, 120.20. Like, we had some big movers there, and the thing is that if Nvidia is going to fade off of 500 as well, which it's doing pretty dramatically, then this probably is another reload right now for AMD, as it's near on the 5-minute, still up there on the 5-minute chart. Looking for some more shares. Ford, people want to look at Ford a little bit, so shout out to you in the chat. K Musitano there. Look, Ford's been really, really sad, but today it's really, really good, man. Nice move. Look at this. This is actually a decent level here. 1060 for Ford to come through right now. Looks like the UVIXY just made a nice little jump to the upside there, creating some more volatility. Maybe we are getting ready to make a little bit of a move down now, but there it is right now on Ford. I like that 1060 level as a possible break. And then Brendan brought us earlier too, as well, C3 AI making moves back up there to 30 bucks there. So again, lots of stuff moving around. C3 AI up 8.5%. right now. And as I look, you still have $32 to come through right there on the daily. So that's going to be an area of support, resistance up there for C3 AI. I don't really, nothing's really, honestly, man, nothing's really hitting any levels. I feel like we're still in the middle right now. Like, look at Palantir. I'd like to do something here, but that's almost impossible. And then we just looked at Apple as well with this market. I'm still looking over there because I still think that AMD could possibly be a short. This Apple could be a short too right now. I am more interested. All right, let's try a 40, what did I just punch? 42s or 43s? We got halfway through there. So we're gonna try this short. And the reason why I kind of like it, this 188, I feel like we could have already been there and we're not. So let's wait. Let's take this short. We also have that little bottom piece right there that we keep on bouncing off of some of these pre-market bottoms. So I feel like this is a decent short. You just saw me punch into it. So here's another trade that if you're rolling with me, you're in the money now, whatever, 8 cents. Let's see if this pulls back in a little bit. First take is going to be at the 50 period always. So that's 20s. Here we come back in a little bit. So here we go. Nice little move back in for our friend and mine, Apple right now. There's 10 cents for you if you want it. But let's see if this can pull back even more now. 12 cents. Okay, 15 cents. Okay, here we go. Hey. We just put that on for you. We just talked about that Apple short, 187.40. Let's see if it works.
Yeah, so I did get short there above that 147 as well. We did get that pop, and I did just stop out, and I got to be wary of like if I do kind of bag a move and I get out, and that's a potential capitulation of the move. Again, 43, we were looking for that. 147, kind of a key area. I did try it once, stop out again, and then hit it the second time. And here's some selling there, some strong selling coming right there on both the ES and the NQ. I'm watching the tape here, a lot of strong kind of wiping through the bid, and volatility a little bit of increasing there. But I think Sean brought up a good point there on the NQs. We are quite close to all-time highs, less than about what this is about 200 points away roughly. But yeah, we did 200 points just off the CPI, and as you guys know, there've been multiple days where we can just do easily over 100 points just off of intraday price action. Take a look at what happened on Friday, right? All the way from 200, 15.2 to 15.6. Basically in a day. So yeah, we are raging to the upside on the bigger picture there, and it does seem like we are a little bit extended as well. So that high being around that 1662.
That's just that's the summer highs. So the all-time high is 16.8.
Right.
Back in 2021, but we're looking at the regional highs.
Yeah,
so yeah,
highs.
Great look on that one. Yeah. Okay, so.
Awesome.
I mean, there's Apple, 40 cents in the money. I mean, we literally just put that on and just covered some as well. And we should have, again, did not pull the trigger, should have pulled the trigger on more AMD short. Didn't do it. We looked at NVIDIA. We talked about that move coming back in, but it's this Apple one that I'm really happy with. Right back into 187.07. So yeah, once again, man, we will take some fills here on Apple and then see where we go. So again, we're out of 45% of this trade as we look to see what Apple wants to do from here. So there it is. It's a nice move back in for that name. We just shorted it ahead of that pre-market bottom, and it's worked out for us. So yay us right now on Apple. Let's see if it will continue to work. Hopefully it does get that little bit of a downside push here for AAPL. So there it goes, trying to break through 187, and it looks like it wants to do that right now as well. So yeah, so far so good here as we enjoy the fruits of our labor on these shorts, as well as, and we just talked about AMD coming right back into this level one more time. So let's put another bid. Just put a bid in the teens as it rips a little bit. There it is, as it rips a little bit higher. But we do take that fill again right there. So yeah, man, everything is pretty good right now on this side as we continue to watch these stocks float around. We have $1 now in the money, so we'll do this. It's another Dollar Club member there, so we're pretty happy with that, needless to say. And there it is, man. So good trading for AMD, good trading for Apple. Although Apple's making a little bit of a run. Let's just put another bid there in the teens. If we can get that back in, we'll do it. Yeah, so a couple shorts paying out. Look, I know there's a lot of you guys that want to look long, so let's go over to Snapchat real quick because some accounts can only go long, right? Obviously, I understand that. Look at Snapchat. Well, hey, if you want some long trades for that one, then let's go and ride that bull because we talked about Snapchat right there at $12. It was at $12 at open. So if you did like that, Phil, maybe you'd like it even more right now. Good little level there off the open there for Snapchat, now making its move up to 1250. The only problem with this move is 13. So I still don't think this is a fade yet. We're watching the market come back. We've definitely taken advantage of that move. We do have AMD short. We just covered some of that. We did cover some Apple back down in here. But I do like that. I do like that long on Rivian. I do like that long on Snap. Okay. I didn't see this Rivian move back in right now. Let's go back over to Brendan quickly.
A little bit of a move, to say the least, here on NCLH, guys. We were just talking about cruise lines, travel names. Huge, 7.8%, just topped out at 8% at the highs there. So travel even benefiting.
Travel, you say? I was going to look at Airbnb.
Trivago?
I mean, there's also, yeah, Trivago. Yeah, TripAdvisor. Is Trivago a stock? How come
PRVG.
PRVG, okay.
It's a
Interesting
penny
there.
stock.
Did you, I know you're sort of, I don't know, is the word obsessed with Amazon correct, or?
Not really. I like to fall back on it when there isn't really anything too much else to kind of
You didn't
push.
go over, the reason why I said that is you didn't go over your Tyson Foods.
Yeah, I did watch it. It didn't really do
didn't
anything.
do what you
Yeah,
thought?
it didn't do much. So okay, we can talk about it here. As again, a little bit of a strong bid happening there on the Amazon. Got a little bit short above the 47 and 80s. Kind of hold the bid there. So I will kind of hold on a little bit longer for a better opportunity, right? A little bit of a double top here at that 147.20. Yeah, as soon as I piece off, it just obviously it's going to quadrunk to the ground there. But yeah, let's talk about TSM while we wait for some better opportunities to show up here across the board. Okay, so TSN. Earnings day one was yesterday, right? Very strong range. I liked the range that it made right here, kind of a low at 43.5, and then the high right at that 49. So what I was looking for is that if we opened up anywhere near one of these extremes, I want to take it either a long or short, depending on what we do off of these extremes. But as you can see, we pretty much opened right in the middle, and we're not doing anything. So that's pretty much a no trade for me, unless and until by the end of the day we can reach one of these ends here. But yeah, take a look. Not really doing too much volume here. Does about what? Does about 3.2 million volume on average. We've only done about 400K, and it's day two earnings. So that's very peculiar to say, but yeah, it's interesting to me that on a day two of earnings, it does absolutely nothing, and we've pretty much done about 45 minutes off the open there. So a ticker that does about over 3 million has done just about less than 10% of its average daily volume as of right now, going into what is it about? From 9:30 to 4, that's about about 5-6 hours. So we've only done about I guess less than expected is what I'm trying to say. Is it less than expected if you expect the volume to be evenly distributed throughout the day there? So I do want to piece off. That's a little bit sketchy to me on Tyson Foods. So that's why it's a no trade for me. But it was one of my top ideas this morning. But if the trade isn't there and it doesn't come in, that's perfectly fine. I'm more than willing to just look somewhere else for opportunities, and that's pretty much what we've done. A little bit fought the short there on the TQs, but again, still holding on to that idea potentially for a fade here. But like I said, if we hold some of these levels, like that 146, we were about $1 in the money there underneath that 147 short. But if you're going to hold that 146 like that and wipe all the way right back up, I'm going to be looking for higher lows now to potentially get long. We've seen how strong this market can be when it decides that it wants to kind of trend all day. And if we're going to trend all day, as of right now, we are still trending on the TQs. We're still trending on the ES. We're trending very strongly on a lot of these other names as well. Sure, the opening ranges have been quite volatile. I'm going to take Apple and Softy as an example here. Kind of opening range very, very volatile, but overall, we are still holding a little bit of a bid to the upside here. Take a look at this. Yesterday, Apple, we sold off quite strongly and then failed to follow through some of these lows. We talked about that consolidation near the lows, very peculiar. And then off CPI, you just blast back through those highs that we made on the week. So yeah, Apple definitely pushing a little bit of a green week as of today based off of that CPI report.
All right, we have, yeah, good analysis there for sure. AMD basically, guys, is this red? Yeah. AMD is now $1.50 in the money, by the way, and really starting to get excited here. Breaking below day's low. This has to be somewhat of a cover now. Too bad. We just started looking at it. That's what's too bad about it. We should have been on this a little bit earlier. And on these levels, I mean, we're obviously on the stock as we've been shorting it. Look at this. We've been shorting AMD all damn day, and it's been really paying out. So it's a good trade so far here on AMD, but we got more work to do, guys, on this name. So let's see. Will it continue to work out for us is one question. We just missed that bid. We should have had that down there at 50. That's stupid of us. Now we're at 60, hoping to get that. New trade alert is what I want to talk about. Look, Shopify is kind of on an island here on the daily. I mean, we broke above this 64. Now you're hanging out at 65. This is what it looks like over here on the daily chart. There it is without the gap fill. So you're kind of hanging out there. Nice move, right? I feel like we could hold 64. First, we got to hold 65 in what is a big day. So let's see if we can do that, right? And if we can, then yeah, then we've got it. So let's wait to see what happens now with Shopify. I'm going to just try it against 65. VWAP is right down here at 65.10. Obviously, we're a little bit longer ahead of that number. We have the short, right? We've got AMD, we've got Apple. Both of those are on. But if there's going to be a long play, let's see if the futures do want to pull back a little bit here into the 50-period moving average. If it does it, great. And then we'll look to see about this 15.8 holding if there is an ultimate downside move coming in the NASDAQ. And if that's the case, great. But there's Shopify. We did not get our reload or more shares, but we still have this one. I still like this play. That's a shame that we missed that AMD because look at that. It's up now 50 cents from that bottom as the market continues to go higher. So it's good that we switched over to the long. Maybe the wrong name. Again, as Shopify goes, since I was talking about it, AMD just went up 60 cents. Shopify went up 4 cents. So we're definitely on these names, man. Look at NVIDIA, I guess, as another one. I mean, me and the professor were just talking about this one as NVIDIA can't seem to catch a bid either right now, but watch out for 490. I believe this is going to be a reload there at some point for AMD. I'd like to get it to that 50-period moving average if we can. So let's maybe try that VWAP 120.30. Well, VWAP's right there, but up there 120.45 for the 50 period. Maybe potential reload at some point here for AMD as it's very, very weak. Every time the market takes a little bit of a dump, this name really collapses. So we got another bid out there, possibly a reload spot. I'm going to look for 120.30 for a reload here for AMD.
Yeah, market kind of disconnect from that NVIDIA for sure, man. I'm watching a lot of these names here, and NVIDIA distinctly different from the rest of these names, making new lows there as again, Amazon pushes for new highs, and the TQs looking a little bit weak here, did get a little short. But again, I gotta respect the market pressure if it's going to continue there. But a little bit of a momentum slowdown on some of these names, and with NVIDIA pushing towards its new lows, I think that the market can definitely get dragged down a little bit there. Let's see what Apple does. Apple kind of just teetering, kind of in the middle of its opening range. Same thing with Softy. We've had wicks to both sides, still teetering in the middle of the range. But you can take a look at both the ES and the NQ, and even the SPY is even kind of a bit of an uptrend there. So maybe the SPY I'm watching, like I said, that 448. What is this? 448, 449 that I have. Actually, it's closer to the 449 there, potential resistance area. But we have kind of pulled back a little bit there off of these areas. So all I'm looking for here on the TQs is a revisit down into VWAP there, a little bit of a reversion potential back down into VWAP. And if the bid is strong, I think that VWAP could have a potential to show up as a strong bid, right? And that's what I'll be watching for. If it's there or not, I have no idea. But that's kind of like the speculation. And if it is there, I'll definitely react to that. To that bid there, but a little bit of a pullback here on Softy as well. Amazon VWAP is at, let's see where VWAP is at. VWAP is at 146. 146.13. So yeah, a little bit of everything poised to take a little bit of a pullback. And here go the TQs. Let's see how far they can get. Our average is right here in the 80s. Yeah, this is wild. Like I said, I'm looking for that 15.8 to be a little bit messy. And then the fact that we didn't get too far past it. We got up. Sure, we tested into the range of that 15.9, the highs being right here in the 80s, right there. But yeah, a little bit of a pullback to 15.8, I think could be a very healthy move for that continuation back to the upside. And I think coming back into VWAP for the TQs is a very valid kind of a relief move if we're going to continue this action. But the fact of the matter is, if we're going to continue and stay catching a very strong bid, and we're not going to break any trends here, we could continue right into the close. And like I said, we've seen that happen. Last Thursday is a great example of that kind of crazy price action.
NASDAQ is up almost 2%. Right now, basically is up 2%. So an absolutely wild day. Thanks, Obi. For all that is you and I basically don't have any longs. I have Shopify. You got the short the TQs. We've got short AMD. We've got short Apple. Oh, look at this. A little bit. We're going to go to Adair in a second. Look at this. I want to talk about before we go. We just shorted Apple again at 187.35, and so we're covering now for 20 more cents on the down. I actually have a bid right here at 12s. So hopefully 12s will fill. I don't know why we put it at 12, but hopefully one more penny down and we will get that fill. There it is. So it's a nice one. There we go. Ringing some more registers on Apple shorts. Let's go over to the big desk with Adara.
Today's big small cap runner so far is BioCardia. BCDA is the ticker for this one. They've just announced the FDA approval for the phase 3 clinical trial of their treatment for a type of heart failure. So keep an eye on this one. Also worth noting, INVO Bioscience. INVO is the ticker for this one. This was on the watch list as well this morning. They released their Q3 earnings. So they did have a significant difference here in the EPS expectation. Big beat there. Also, the sales were up significantly year over year. Keep an eye on this one. Last but not least, this was actually down about 60% right now. Skin is the ticker. Beauty Health. They have a massive Q3 miss for sales and earnings per share. They also had a couple downgrades, including Piper Sandler, with a downgrade to underweight and a price target from $12 to $2. Big stuff to watch today, guys.
Big stuff. Okay, so thanks, Adara. We just got... Okay, so I took out a little bit of Shopify for flat there. I'm not really sure why we did that in hindsight, obviously, as this market continues to go to the upside right now. So we do have to, because we took some out, let's put something out at 30 there and just take 10 cents initially, then see where it goes. So it's just this AMD trade, right? So we're going to try some more at 50 here, but we're going to get out if this breaks through 121. We're already in this not significantly, we're going to get a little bit more into 121. But you can see the market does look like, as Obi mentioned, we can, and take past examples that we've already seen, right? You've seen this market start to run up. We had that huge number. I mean, we get huge non-farm payroll numbers, jobs numbers, this and that as you still continue to come out. CPI, we saw when Powell spoke, the market started going up and then just kept on going into the close and things like that. So look at NVIDIA off the bottom of 490, right back into VWAP. So we're going to continue to watch out for AMD up here. Let's short a little bit more. Our price is getting worse and worse, of course, but we're doing this on purpose. We're going to short it up into 121. That high right there was 121.25. I don't really think we need to give it all the way to that. I mean, the high rate here is 80 anyways, so giving it just that little bit extra up to 121 I think is what I want to do. I just don't want to be involved because, see, we got stopped out and then we punched short again immediately because we saw the volume dry up. I don't have volume on this candle, but on this chart, but that's what we saw there. And then there was the move down, collecting dollars again on the trade, right? So I do think there's a lot of potential here, but please be very, very careful. We did get that Shopify fill, so again, out for flat, for half, literally, and then right there again, out at 31s or something like that. Yeah, 32s it looks like there for Shopify, so hopefully it will fall back in just a little bit, or I think it was 30s actually. So that was a good trade there for Shopify. Let's just watch out because here comes, okay, so now AMD's at this level that we need to put more shares on. So let's do it. We'll offer some 73s there. We got them. Now, one more fill, guys, up near like 85, 86, and then that's it. And if we break above right there, that's 80. We're going to give it to 121. So that's our level of concern for AMD. It's not huge, but there's a concern there. We are now short at 60, out of the money, 3 cents.
Yeah, still short here on the TQs as it teeters underneath this 43 area. Like I said before, a little bit of a resistance. Alphabet kind of bouncing off of its VWAP as of right now. Amazon coming right back in. And yeah, a little bit of sideways action here on the NQs as well. So let's see how far we can get underneath this 43 on the TQs. But yeah, I'm a little bit, again, we talk about not fighting the pressure, and I'm finding myself fighting a little bit of that pressure, kind of negating my ideas, because I'm just like, oh, okay, well, this is up so much, we got to take a little bit of a pullback into VWAP there, but we don't have to do that. We can continue, like I said, we can continue back to the upside quite strongly if the bid kind of holds here. I'm watching this 8 EMA on the TQs apparently being defended very, very strongly here. Here, take a quick look. TQQs. I can pull up an MA for you guys, but you can see, even if I don't pull up the moving average, you can see how strong it's holding onto its trend here. So I may be asking for too much there if I'm looking for it to potentially kind of break that trend. Again, strong morning, maybe a little bit of a pullback. That's the thesis there. But if we don't catch any bit of a pullback off of that move, I will be wrong on this move here. But that 43, kind of a resistance area. Let's see if we can get back down into that 15.8. And again, like I said, going to be waiting patiently for some of these moves to come in. Definitely not patient in the morning session with those shorts. The first short a little too early there underneath that 42, but I have no problems with some of these levels here, getting short those levels for just looking for a pullback into VWAP. But it definitely looks like we are not going to be getting that here today, as the market is super strong. That 43 coming right back in. Again, I'm going to stay a little bit short in and around these levels, kind of stay a little convicted unless and until it shows me quite strongly otherwise here. Going into the middle of the day, maybe I'm expecting too much for a little bit of a pullback. But this market is strong right into that 15.9. We talked about this crazy strength, and just last week we were messing around with 15.4s, and all of a sudden I come in today and we're hitting that 15.8, 15.9. That's absolutely ridiculous. Crazy moves here. We talked about that continuation of that market strength that we've been seeing on a lot of these names post earnings that we had earlier this session, right? So that Apple earnings kind of what was it? The Nvidia earnings, right? That was the one that really kind of started this move here. Very strong push off of those. Was it the Nvidia ones? I'm trying to remember correctly. Actually, no, it wasn't Nvidia. Which name am I thinking of then? I think it might have been Apple. It was one of the earlier names that did report. Yeah, okay. So it was Apple a couple of weeks ago there. Kind of a strong move through that through that earnings level, and then we break earnings highs, and then you come back in, you fail to follow through to the downside, and we're holding that bid quite aggressively back up. And yeah, that 88 definitely interesting level indeed, as we're holding above some of those levels. So that 43, a little bit of a struggle here as of right now on the TQs. So we're just going to hold on to this one here for now. Amazon coming right back into VWAP. A lot of these tickers, Sean, are holding their VWAP as of right now, and the SPY I'm watching pulling right up into this resistance area, and let's see if this resistance actually shows up, or if we're just going to blast through and just go to the next level here, past this 41. This 441 there. So very interesting price action today. We are fighting the trend a little bit here, looking for a little bit of relief back down to the downside.
Man, this Shopify is now 40 cents in the money, and you want to talk about a banger. I mean, this one is really starting to work out for us, obviously, and there it goes, Shopify right back up to highs. So Yahoo on that one for Shopify. We've averaged into AMD and into Apple, so those are slippery slopes. We could eventually get stopped out. There's Apple right here with that potential stop out on the upside. We're short now 45s. I know I'm getting nervous, man. These markets, as you just mentioned, everything seems to be holding some of these highs. So just be very careful here. Getting close to some of these levels that we've already discussed. But one thing that we haven't discussed much is crypto. So let's go over to the big desk with Adara and see what's popping in that world.
Something of note, this is from yesterday afternoon, but basically there's news that BlackRock is pushing for standardized SEC rules for crypto ETFs. Their suggested approach is apparently something close to what's happening with future ETFs. So that's of note, something to keep an eye out for. We also have, so Bitcoin today down a little bit on the day, just above that 36,000 area. Solana, though, pretty strong. If you see this big green candle to the upside on the day so far. In general, though, the crypto market is pretty mixed. We have a lot of strength in some areas. Ripple's pretty strong as well right now. Matic is positive as well. But yeah, Ethereum's down almost 3%. Bitcoin's down a bit right now. And then we have other currencies like Link down pretty far as well, guys.
Not Link. Yeah. Okay, yeah, Solana's pretty hot there. The NFT market is really obviously chilled out a little bit as well. Okay, yeah, meanwhile, what's been working for us has been the Apple short, but not really. You know, we're short at 48s here. I'm honestly just like scalping out some at 40, scalping some out at like 38s. I just put another bid right now at 40. You can see we have all these magical ones again. I mean, I should be doing more work about them to find out what exactly is up with that. But yeah, a lot of one prints happening. Right? Oh, there we go. We just got, oh no, we didn't. I was gonna say we almost got stopped out of there on AMD, but we did not, almost. AMD is very, very slippery, man. Breaking through 30 and we have to get out of here. It's gonna be a disaster, I know. We should have just stayed away, but NVIDIA, it's too bad, man, because we really hit this AMD short really good until this last move, as now the market starts to take out highs. I mean, we're still 40 cents in the money on Shopify. That's okay, but we haven't we've dug into AMD, so it's a little bit bad here as we go. The UVXY, still got to fix this chart. It's trying to get to its 200 period moving average and trying to bounce off that a little bit. I haven't really done the work on UVXY to talk about like, okay, now it actually bounces off 200 period moving averages or anything like that. We'd like to see the UVXY start to go a little crazy here, but I don't know if that's going to happen. Look at NVIDIA up to 495 now and still going. It's really just Apple that we're trying to cash out of some of these bids, right? So we're short here at 48. We have an upsized position. We actually have the same amount of shares on Apple that we do on AMD. So they're kind of counteracting each other, which I don't really like right now. I'd rather have two winners rather than one. And then one giving everything else back on that trade. But so far, so good. Not much to complain about. Okay, here we come. A little bit of a dip down in now. I'm almost thinking about taking some out. I'll just take some O's right there on AMD. I know that's going to be for that L, but just trying to take out some pressure right now. This name is high up. And as we can see, Apple fading. It's not happening for AMD. So, you know, put some of this money back into your pocket a little bit, and you don't have to lose your whole day based on one trade idea. You know, reading a book, Trading in the Zone by Mark Douglas, reading a couple different books of One Good Trade and things like that. We've already read that book. And they're audiobooks, so I listen to them. So the thing about it is like, you know, it's about risk management, and we can't consider ourselves being risk managers and then sitting here not having outs and not being responsible for your trading, right? And so AMD, our out's going to be the high of the day. More aggressively, you should have probably got out right there at 80s, you know, when it took that high. You know, unfortunately, we didn't, and we sit here and wait for the short. We're still having a decent day. Everything is still fine. Shopify was a great trade to alongside. Got nervous, got out a half for some strange reason, then got out there near the high of the day, so that's all good. I guess this Apple's not going down as much as we thought it was, so I'm going to bid again here at 40, take out another 10%.
Yeah, take a look at the Dixie here, and I know you introduced me to this idea a few weeks ago there, but the Dixie super weak there. Again, off the CPI, coming right back in below that 105 into 104 halves. But take a look at this. That momentum kind of starting to slow down. You can see the candles starting to compress a little bit here and catch a little bit of a potential turn there. But like I said before, I don't really know how the Dixie moves, but it does and can have an effect on some of these equities here. So a little bit of a quadrunk there on the dollar index, and the market kind of continues to bleed up higher and higher there, Sean. So I think we might be catching a little bit of a pressure on a bigger picture move off of that idea. As that 15.9 coming in on the NQs, oh boy, are we close to knocking on the door of that 16. Just last week, could you have believed we would be here this week, Sean?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm having a hard time ingesting this, I guess.
Yeah. No. I mean, literally, I've been talking about this for a little while there. I even went over there and told these guys, yo, you got to switch your algos to long only bias. I mean, it is what it is. The market's really ripping. There was the all clear. I talked about sending an email to my dad last Tuesday about we got to get in this market ASAP. We're in it, but just more. And yeah, so I know that, you know, it's tough to predict these things, but I've been around the block for quite a while. Once the Fed changes their tone, it's kind of like game over, you know. But we did have a game over right there and a fail on AMD. It did take us out, man. It ripped up there. We did cover some, at least at O's. We talked about that we were getting a little bit nervous about it. So that does suck. But what's making me feel a little bit better, of course, is this pullback down in Apple. We'll take another 25 bid there and then see if this one really continues to bleed out. So Apple is the weak name right now. Despite the market being up 2%, Apple only up 1.3%. So that's definitely giving some pause for concern. What is SoFi doing? As we take another sip of our coffee. So 1750 high. That dip into 720 was real super nice, and you can be able to see it right there. That's the 200 period moving average, man, and that's something that you know, I obviously look at, and we've talked about that many times on the show. So that's a missed opportunity. You want to see another missed opportunity? How does Palantir look right now? That 1950 bottom again came into play there pretty nicely, and hard to take advantage of it because we were looking short, but that was another great play there for PLTR coming in at that level. So yeah, a couple good names to look at there. Rivian was another one that had some news early. We haven't looked much at Tesla today. Oh, right there. I look at Rivian long, but that's going to be like that turned around right there on VWAP. That's pretty nice. You are coming back into the 200 period right now, though, on Rivian. This is a possible buy spot. Why not? Again, 1650. We talked about 1650 before. I actually don't mind this play, Obi. I'm getting excited about a possible long right now. Yeah, 1650, 1660. Okay. So if Rivian does come in here into 1666, let's try that. You're at the zero line right now. Well, it's the 50 line, but the zero line in the middle there for RSI. That's pretty good. Rivian here on a 5-minute chart is approaching, this is the wrong earpiece, by the way. I guess my other one's probably charged now. Is dipping down into 1660 there. I like this hold on the chart. So let's see if Rivian can come back in. I'm going to put a bid right now. Let's put it at 1665 and see if that fills.
Yeah, that 15.9 kind of giving us a little bit of a trouble here, as we did kind of wick into that level, and then we pulled back a little bit here. Just only about 20-30 point pullback off of that 15.9. What is that? It's about 20 point into the 80s there, 880s off the 900. So let's see if this will bring in some of the sell pressure here. But very, very strong off the open. And SPY pretty much broke into that 449. So we are testing within that resistance area that I have, again, right underneath that 450 as well, right? So yeah, I'm gonna let it kind of marinate a little bit here in and around these levels before making the next decision. But wow. You're definitely right on Apple there. Apple looking a little bit weaker there. The Dixie, I have it still pulled up. First kind of green candle. We've had green candles before, but take a look at this. The candles start getting shorter and shorter, kind of signifying a slowdown of that downward momentum there on the Dixie. So maybe we're poised for a little bit of upward momentum or downward momentum now on these markets, as the Dixie can potentially catch a little bit of a bid there. VIX, I'm also watching the VIX again. This crazy quadunk off of the CPI happens. You get back into these 14s, and then now you're getting a little bit of that reversion happening as well. So let's see how well the VIX can kind of revert this move. Whether it's going to do it today, tomorrow, in a couple of weeks, in a couple of months, who knows? But as you guys can see, we talk about this over and over again with probabilities. Sure, it might take a while, but when VIX reaches some of these extreme levels, it does have a tendency to revert on the larger time frame on an overall picture there, as kind of a I don't want to say a rule of thumb, but like it occurs more often than not on volatility versus if you're looking for a reversion on price action there. Very strong holds again. Right, we were going to be talking about Apple there. So yeah, take a look at Apple relative to VWAP here. VWAP, let me just open that up. So yeah. strong hold on VWAP. You kind of use it as a core initially, and then you start bidding up quite strongly on top of that 187. So potential for longs over there off the 187. I did say I want to be looking for the long, and then I got short. Yeah, that's maybe not the best thing to do, but again, going to stay on my feet, got to stay nimble as possible here. That 147 making a little bit of a triple top here on the Amazon as well. Very interesting look there as we kind of make a either we're building into a flat top break, or that 147 is so heavy that it's going to come right back into that 146. Sean.
Look, it's been quite a wild day there. I know you've got the TQs there. Amazon, a good one. Look, I'm long Shopify. I just actually, before we throw over to Adair, what's coming up, we do have Fisker. Fisker just made a move back into 315, so we went long here at 318. So we're long right now, Fisker. Let's see if it does have juice to get back up to the upside. Short also, Apple's working out. That's 30 cents in the money. Shopify, Fisker, we've already talked about all of that. So let's go over and see what's up with Adair.
Tons of strength in the market right now. We do have a little bit of relative weakness, specifically in sectors like energy minerals, which is a little bit lagging right now. We also have in the insurance area, health services, and then we also have some weakness in industrial services as well. Also, some of the health technology areas lagging behind here, including Eli Lilly, super strong all of last week and heading into yesterday as well, with news that Zepbound, their weight loss drug, was approved by the FDA. Now a little bit lagging compared to the rest of the market right now. Also worth mentioning, yeah, a lot of strength in retail trade too, with the news about Amazon working with Snapchat for ads. That's of note. We also have Home Depot trending up after the earnings. Yeah, lots of strength across the market here too. Chips still very strong in the electronic technology area, guys.
Electronic
Alphabet
technology.
just broke VWAP.
What's up?
Alphabet just broke below VWAP.
Below?
Below VWAP, yeah.
like
So
that.
Google kind of leading the way there, potentially for a pullback as it pulls right back into or past VWAP. And then Apple as well have VWAP here at, what is this, at 187.14. And we're just knocking on the door of that level there. So if we're going to slow down here, if we're going to catch a little bit of a sell, and that ask gets a little bit heavy, we may be poised for a little bit of a VWAP test here on the TQs. That's what I'll be watching for there. You know what I said, Sharif? I like that.
Like, Sharif, honestly, bro. You're up in 17 minutes. You can talk about all your stuff.
Excuse me. Nice strength there. VWAP right here, 42.5 potentially coming in. But yeah, look at this. Very, very strong trend there, Neil. Right here. That's what I have marked. We can just, again, rudimentary trend line, nothing too crazy
that's too
there.
big of a word. Try another one.
Basic trend line.
Perfect.
How about that?
Thank you.
Basic trend line. Yeah, so basic trend line here. We are holding well above this, but again, if we do visit VWAP here, we would have to kind of break this morning trend from this crazy strength that we've been having, man. Absolutely wild. That 15.9 kind of still teetering well within 20 points of that 15.9 as we have slowed down quite significantly as of right now. Got to go back and look at this Dixie to see if there's any little bit of a curl here, as that can kind of indicate potential pop back down on some of these names here. But like I said, if I'm wrong, I'm more than willing to kind of give up on this idea and be done with these shorts here if we don't pull back there, Sean.
No, nothing. Okay. Huh. All right. Yeah. No, I was trying to figure everything out with you as well here in this marketplace, because Shopify's pulled back quite nicely all the way back in. We're still going to wait for 65 to come through. We had some good trading, man, happening on Apple. Meanwhile, right? We took that. It's funny that you mentioned that level there. We took it upside on that 15, right where VWAP was. So when you mentioned that, I was like,
yeah,
okay,
yeah,
it was really holding. So that was a good call. Thanks for that one. We were already bidding there, but that was when you mentioned that Google had fallen down. That actually got me excited, thinking that, hey, maybe there is more to this market coming back in a little bit, but there isn't. I don't want to fight trend at all. We did go long on Fisker down there. Let's see what's happening. I know we are fighting the trend here, that's for sure. But this AMD trade, so we're back into it, but again, this is a different trade because you are right at I mean, they're all the same trading, but you're right here, right now, right back to August highs. So I'm going to try this against 122. I do not feel like this is irresponsible. I do not feel like this is irresponsible. Why? Because A, we're short at 90. B, we're close enough to the level whereby if it, see, it's going to break and now it's going to go. But I'll just justify the trade because we're going to get out at 121.11, something like that, right? The fact that it broke and didn't pull all the way back is making me slightly nervous on this position. Would have much rather have a significant pullback, but that doesn't really look like it wants to do that right now. So we're going to try it just upside. You can get out. Hey, look, if you don't like the trade, get out. You can get out right now immediately without any worries. So if you don't like this trade, we're flat on it right now. I'm going to bid a little bit in the 80s just in case, but we did make this move back up. We're trying to hold this about 20 cents against us. AMD does make this move upside. It's been a rocket ship, man. I mean, this short was really just good early and hasn't really been good late. Okay, now it's tanking. Wow, you see what just happened there? We got to fill at 80. It went into the 70s and then just bumped right back up. This is giving, honestly, I don't know what sometimes to think about some of these markets. Like, we go well in the money and then it comes well back against us again. It's against us 3 cents, but okay. We'll wait on that one. Fisker, Fisker's at a spot right now where we could take some more, or take some profit. This is the very first trade that we put on for Fisker. I was waiting at 24. We could take a 23 now and be confident with it. So I don't mind this either. It's a good little long. It's only 18 to 23, but we could take a little bit out here. As we're really watching AMD now, hoping that this name can make another move back in. So AMD trying to go, Fisker trying to go opposite ways. So I would much prefer AMD to tank than to Fisker to do anything. So Fisker, we have a $3 protection area. AMD shorting in front of that, there we go, we're going to get stopped out. Shorting in front of that August high is a stop out waiting to happen. And there it is again. Damn it, man. That one bid down there that we got into the 80s, pretty tricky there. AMD, let's stay away until we definitely see a turn on NVIDIA, as now it comes right back in again, but that's okay. NVIDIA looking at that 5 bills. Maybe this is a better short, but there goes AMD trying to make moves back in again. Damn it.
Yeah, I like that lower high there that NVIDIA is potentially making as some of these other names kind of come right back in. I'm watching some of these volume leaders on the day here. Tesla being the strongest of the bunch there. So let's take a look at the 5-minute here and see what Tesla has been up to. Again, we talked about kind of some strength coming off of these levels here, and Sean and I were talking about this last week. What was it? Tesla a little bit opposite to the rest of the market there. As the market was bidding up, Tesla was falling down, and happened yesterday as well, where the market kind of consolidates near its lows all day, but Tesla continues to bid up and kind of shows us that strength back into the upside. A little bit of a continuation happening today. Palantir, again, second top name here. Very rangy and consolidative. Yesterday, we saw how strong Friday was. That move came in, brings us into the 20s, and then today we kind of pop and fade into that 20 level there. I know people in the chat were talking about trading plug, and yeah, plug power here. A bit of a price target upgrade there from Wells Fargo, from $4. Downgrade there. What is this? Has average outperform rating and a price target range 32. Okay, so nice. So maintains an equal weight rating there, strong push to the upside. We were breaking through that $4 level potentially here. So yeah, just taking a quick look left, we had that strong sell-off last week off of the earnings move right there, and we're starting to do a little bit of a recovery as we've failed to follow through below this $3, $3.25 area here on plug power. Again, Ford coming in. Ford very, very strong there, Sean, on the day. Oh, yeah. Super, super strong. Coming right back into, again, we've been selling off quite heavily. We talked about kind of Ford reaching some of these all-time or close to these all-time lows, if not all-time lows, if I remember correctly, off of the earnings sell-off there. But very, very strong recovery right there. Looking left, 1065, a potential area of interest if we can come right back into those levels. And I know that Sean is looking at AMD as well. Are you in an AMD position right now? No?
It's crazy because I just got stopped out of AMD and now it's in the money like 30 cents.
AMD
Wow,
super
20
strong,
cents.
super strong.
Yeah,
as
but I
well.
was short. I mean, I was just short at 122, 121.90. It's at 121.70.
Yeah.
Stopped
Well,
out
that's not a
20
bad
cents
place.
against. Yeah,
122 failure to follow through.
yeah, I mean, I don't want to get short. I was short again, and I keystroked out of it, which is ridiculous. But now it's down to 121. I mean, here it is. PayPal, someone in the chat there brought this one up to my attention as well. $57 just fading off. What an extension move up. Get this chart out of here for now. What an extension up there for PayPal, making those moves right into here again. Like now I'm thinking like this is a short into 57 again there for PayPal. But shorting this market, like you're 22222 in here, I don't know if the short's going to be the right play, but this PayPal is something interesting to me up here at 57 just because of what we talked about right there. So I think this is something. Thanks for the look there in the chat. That's a good one. It's Adara with Money Talks.
USD is taking quite a hit following that core CPI and CPI data that we got this morning, which was a little bit cooler than expected. For core CPI, it was 0.2% versus 0.3 expected. And then for the CPI year over year, for October, we had 3.2 versus 3.3 expected and 3.7 previous. So definitely a drop here. We're also seeing this in the US relationship with the euro. We also had good economic data out of Europe. We did have the euro affected by GDP lower for the first time since 2020. So this is definitely of note. Similarly, USD with the pound sterling also down. We did have slower wage growth for Britain today for the first time since January. So lots of interesting news to note. Definitely keep an eye on the USD, though. Very much beaten up after that CPI print, guys.
Okay, thanks, Adara, for that one. We did go short Google, so I was just telling Obi over here that it's really too bad that AMD fell. Now, like look at this, like stopped out there, boom, and then we had a bid back down there at 121.90, like, and it filled us on the way back in. So it sucks because we do take. Look, it stopped out at 10s. Like it's not a big deal. This is not a big deal. It just that's what happens, and sometimes that happens, and you get stopped out, and then it fades back in. So it was like a 20-cent hit. We shouldn't be like overly dramatic about it, but it does suck, and that sucks. So we will take that hit against us, and we will celebrate this. Because here we go, it is a nice move up one more time or move down for Google. So Google's going to pay dirt, hopefully for us on the short side. This is going to be a big trade. I'm going to put another bid here at 65. We do have earnings, but we have something a little more important first. Okay, so what just happened there? Oh my God, AMD, okay. All right, so what do we have today for lunch? It's a good one. If you did say chicken dinner winner, hopefully you've had some in the stock market today, but you're not gonna have one in lunchtime because today it is not Obi chicken. Today's menu is grilled pea meal on a bun.
Okay.
Decent. With beefsteak tomatoes, vintage cheddar, and a little bit of black pepper fries. So we got a decent opportunity there to finally have a lunch. You know, like sandwiches are pretty much my favorite meal. Like any kind of sandwich. I mean, do burgers classify as sandwiches? We've kind of gone back and forth on that a couple times. I love burgers, obviously, but I like a good sandwich, especially for lunch. I mean, sandwiches for dinner, obviously you can have that, but I definitely like the sandwich idea here for lunchtime today. So that's what it is. It's pea meal right now. But we do have to go to the earnings board, so let's have a quick look. Join me tonight as we will discuss. Uh-oh, Brendo. He knew this was coming. Dada. We only get to use that a couple times. I'm going like this because I cannot see. We have Getty Images. We have Dada. Okay, that's fine. I was just looking for what was on the left side of that board. And then tomorrow, man, TJX is at, I don't know if it's all-time highs, but it's really, really mooning there. TJX again, nice with $93. Wow. Target's been in a problem spot for a while. I do not like Target. I think that, again, people flocking to Walmart in this environment, maybe that changes. I don't know, as the R word still being thrown around there. People may be leveling down their shopping experience. And then, of course, XPeng with that huge news today on that MPV there for XPeng. So I would think that XPeng probably the best name out of that bunch would be my guess.
Yeah, I think it has one of the stronger catalysts. Yeah. Plus going into the earnings move as well, right? Yeah, so getting a little bit of a pullback here off that 15.9. We reclaimed that 43. Like I said, I was a little too early shorting into the 43. But again, this has got to pull back quite significantly for the trend to be broken here. I think 15.9 is potentially a good place to catch a turn there. And we kind of saw the initial sign of Google getting weak underneath VWAP there. And then there goes Apple as well there, Sean. Sure, only about a few pennies below, so we're well within that VWAP range on the Apple. But yeah, a lot of these names kind of coming right back into their VWAP as well. I'm still waiting for these TQs to come right back in. And there is a little bit of a quadunk there, Sean. I don't know if this is like market news or something coming in, but strong wiping to the downside happening right now as we speak. Back through that 43 on the TQs, back through that 147 on Amazon, and yeah, Google, you're definitely laughing straight to the bank on that short there. On Google, definitely showing us kind of leading the way there on that market move back to the downside. Let's see if VWAP stays heavy now.
Yeah, this is the way right now. Wow. There we go. So now I don't feel so bad. Here's 50 cents back in the money here on AMD. And it's funny because learning opportunity for myself and for Obi right now. Yes, when this name was down at 121.80, I was saying to Obi, we threw it over to Adara, and I was like, man, I feel bad about missing that AMD short. I said, but it's not the right spot. Didn't I say that? And then it goes all the way back up into 122. So that way we didn't have to worry about the amount of shares that we put on because we have our stop at that high. So right now, you know, a 10-cent stop is now printing us 50 cents. So that's part of the game when you play it. And like Triple H, that is the game right now. Look at Google right now coming back into 50s, man. I mean, Trips is the best. I'm pretty confident with that statement. Right now, you watch wrestling? No? Yay, wrestling? Okay, so nice pullback in for AMD. We talked about that. We will take it. Thank you for mentioning the Google trade as well. We'll take that. We'll put that in our pocket and smoke it. That's a good one for Google. Shopify struggling. We only have 25% of that one left. And then a new position. Thank you so much to all of you out there for messaging me on the chat. We have the best chat literally in the universe. I want to thank you for this play. And the play? PayPal. We zoomed out, man. It was right here. You guys gave it to me. I took it. It's not a huge trade yet, but this is part of our nation here. Trading Nation remains strong here today. Again, we just took a 75 fill off of a short 80. That's to cover fees. We take 10%. Now I'm waiting at the 60 period, or at 60 right here, which is the 50 period. Now that's at 65. Hopefully a little bit of a pullback down in for this one, but we're rocking right now. Only a couple minutes left. Stay tuned. It's its own stream now. So you got to get ready for the midday show. If it does not transfer over, we do have Sharif and Adara coming, and it's more of an, well, you know what it's all about. You've been on the midday lots of times. It's going to be more of an educational feel for the midday. Yeah, and then we have some surprises. We're going to be doing lunch money a little bit different moving forward as well as we continue to grow here at Trader TV Live. Thanks, Obi, for stepping up and in for Neil today. I'm pretty sure he'll be back tomorrow. We may have to do a wellness check on him due to the Buffalo Bills, but we haven't heard anything from him this morning. I believe all is well. He's in our fantasy football chat right now. So he just said, look, football is stupid. You see this? There it is. Football is stupid from Neil. Neil in our fantasy football chat, I just opened it up just for fun. And at 10:56, he goes, football is stupid. So he's alive and everything is well. Obviously, we're just joking about that. But a shout out to everybody. And Obi, Google is absolutely tanking. Thanks again to you for that one because you brought that one to my attention, and now it's one of.
Oh, is this
my number one stocks? You hit the right one there.
Nice. Okay.
All right.
I thought that was the arrow there. But yeah, crazy morning there. The momentum has started to slow down in terms of the bid catching, and maybe we're starting to get a little bit of momentum back down to the downside there. Some of these resistance levels coming into play, that 147 on the Amazon, this 15.9 on the Qs, and that 43 area on the TQs as well. Like I said, let's see what we do with this VWAP today, and yeah, that's all I have for me. Going forward, I'm going to stay nimble as possible for the shorts. If this buying pressure wants to stay real, I think it's well within range to stay real going forward there, Sean. So, but that's all from us, I think.
Let's
Take
go.
care. We're gonna
All right,
pass
over
it
to the other
over.
stream. Let's go. If it doesn't flip over, go find it at Trader TV Live.
But it's over here. Hey, what's up, beautiful people? Welcome to the midday show, the new midday show, How to Trade. That